boogeyman is real, and you found him.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
I'm your number one fan.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
7 days.
I am Dracula.
We have such sights to show you. Boy!
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
I am the eater of worlds and of children.
What's in the fucking box?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
One by one, we will take you.
Never get out of bed again!
You gotta be fucking kidding.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Welcome to prime time, bitch!
Welcome, horror fans. It is Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, and it's time for another episode of the Week in Horror podcast, the only podcast that's like a wire inside you getting tighter and tighter. And welcome, everybody. This is the first official show of 2024, so thank you so much for joining us tonight. And if you, dear horror fanatic, are listening to us at the top of the week on Sundays, remember, we do this live right here on YouTube every preceding Wednesday. So we hope to see you in the live chat. Come hang out with us where all of the goofy shit happens that you don't get to hear, on the Sunday show. So this week, we are looking back at select horror films that released January 7th through January 13th. Thank you all so much for joining us for what will surely be a bloody good time. Blech, I can't talk. I am JL, and I'm holding the fort down tonight because I think the guys are busy doing stuff. But we have some excellent stuff to talk about tonight. So some good gems that we're going to talk about. Some really, really enjoyable ones. A couple that I hadn't seen in a while, I got to go back and watch, and one new one that I actually hadn't seen before. So I'm looking forward to diving into this stuff. Oh, excuse me, little parched right there. I think I need to wet my whistle. There we go. So how is everyone doing tonight? See all you amazing people in the live chat. Let me see. First and foremost, let's make sure that we have that up there on the screen. All those amazing individuals who are members of the Week in Horror Patreon. They all help to make this show possible. And we do appreciate your support. It's the reason we're able to keep doing this show for, 5 years, going on, in here in our 5th season. And of course, all the cool stuff that we have going on behind the scenes as well. The reason why Eugene and Johnny are so busy. The reason why, we're getting stuff made, and we're able to bring all those cool premieres to you via the Discord channel. So, which, by the way, I wanted to let you all know that there have been some big improvements to the Week in Horror Discord. There are now hidden achievements, and hidden roles that are available for the active members of the Discord. Now, it's free to join. You can come in and join the community and talk about the stuff that we talk about here or talk about other stuff. And if you are active enough, there are special achievements that you can find and special roles for those who are the most active. So if you persevere, you can find those. So please enjoy those. I see people knocking them out already. But that was kind of a fun thing that I recently added to the Discord and thought people might dig. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. So I gotta catch up with the live chat real quick. So before I dive into it, because I see somebody said something there. So first and foremost, Casey Cooper's here. Good to see you, Casey Cooper. Says, well met, and I can't speak Sindarin, but Happy New Year to you. Thank you very much, Casey Cooper. Raven Darkstar's here as well. Good to see you, Raven, as well as Travis Brown. Good to see you, Travis Brown, and Doctor Who Design. Ooh, don't put that evil on me, sir. But good to see you. Thanks so much for hanging out tonight. As well as Sarcasm. Good to see you, Sarcasm. Good evening, and happy to see my parasocial friends again this week. Always a pleasure to see you, Sarcasm. Wrote it, no last name, Gabba Gabba to you. Says, I've considered cannibalism because I really am a people person. I feel you. I do. I feel you. Right down there in my lower intestine. So good to see you, bud. Thanks so much for hanging out. Who else we got here tonight? Apparently, Casey Cooper has reported he just saw Johnny O over on Irish Demon's channel, because a good friend of the channel, a good friend of mine, Demon is currently live over on his channel, over on his YouTube channel. So apparently Johnny O's hanging out over there. Okay, so maybe he's not so busy, or maybe he's busy hanging out with Irish Demon. I have no idea. Or maybe he just popped in, because he does that on occasion. He'll be busy on set and he'll get a break and he'll pop in to see what's going on. So I don't know. All I know is he's not here, but I'll hold down the fort. I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it. I've done it enough times. I think I've got it here for that. I got the solo show down. I can one man slasher this motherfucker. I really can. I can. I think I've got it. Javier Hara, good to see you. Says I'm here now. Get to the chopper. Yes, get to the chopper. It is important that we get to the chopper. Good to see you, bud. As well as 13 more. 13 more. Oh yes, 13 more. I think we're very, really close to 1,000. We actually hit 1,000 subs on Week in Horror, and then it dropped back down. So I think some people pity subbed and then they bounced. So when they didn't have to do it anymore. So it happens sometimes. But I appreciate them popping by. It lets me know that we can actually get to 1,000. So, Castellar Daniel Garcia here says Willem Dafoe was great in Daybreakers. Yes, he was. It's we'll get there. We'll jump on that. Left-handed Jedi, good to see you. Says hello, everyone. Good to see you, Left-handed Jedi. Donnie does that as well. Good to see you, Donnie. You rock. Johnny's hanging out with ID. Yep, apparently. Joshua Lee, good to see you. Says, hey, everyone. Good to see you, Joshua Lee. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better in this new year. Left-handed Jedi has become a new member of the Army of the Dead. Thank you so much, Left-handed Jedi. I appreciate that support. And you, too, can become a member of the Army of the Dead. You can support us right here on YouTube. If Patreon's not your thing or PayPal's not your thing, you can support us right here on YouTube with our channel memberships. You get access to all of the cool emojis that I made for you and all of the channel badge as well. So thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate that. Travis Brown says, Johnny O is too scared to face me. Absolutely. He absolutely is. He is terrified. He is you cannot defeat the Travis Brown. He cannot. Sir Cap says, sorry, JL, but Discord's ain't my thing. It's all good. Yep, Discord's not for everybody. It isn't. There's a lot on it. So Javier Hara says, can we use the TP9000 if we join to the server? Well, the TP9000 is currently on deck, or it's currently, on deck for when we need it for a movie, which I don't think we need it for any of the films that we have tonight. We don't. But you can get your own TP9000 shirt, courtesy of in-house artist Joshua Olsen, who put together our TP9000 shirt on the request or the suggestion of, I believe it was Wrote It No Last Name, who suggested that we do a TP9000 shirt, and we made one. And that's available via the Teespring. I believe it's like our 5th limited edition shirt, like limited edition artwork. So, Joshua Lee says, I see they jumped right on that copyright expiration of Steamboat Willie for the horror movie games. We're going to get to that as well. Absolutely. We're going to get to that. There's Johnny. Says, sorry, everyone. Overnight shoots are draining us old fuckers. Well, draining you, I'm older than you are. So, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't, because I'm older than you are, Chief. But good that you're working. It's fantastic. B Blanco's here. Good to see you. Says, hey, everybody. Good to see you, B Blanco. And I see Cindy Sue as well. Good to see you, Cindy Sue. Thanks so much for being here. B Blanco says, I'll never bounce JL11 channel. Thank you so much, B Blanco. You rock, man. Do appreciate that. He says, I am not. I'm right here. Well, you were over there, but you ain't here. You're here, there, but you're not here. That's the whole point. So that's the key. That's the key to it. Let me see who else we got here. Plottle says, the only thing frightening about you is how bad you look after I apply the beat down, which, wasn't often. Wasn't often, sir. Was not often at all. Sir Cap says, provided that you appropriately Sir Cap says, provided that you appropriately trash Wakefield, the TP9000 could take the week off. We're definitely going to get to that. We will. We absolutely will. So, I think I got everybody. I think I saw everybody in the live chat. Cindy Sue says, I want Army of the Dead on a baseball jersey. Oh, that would be cool. If they did an Army of the Dead, that would be pretty. If they did a baseball jersey, I think I have to check. They've added a bunch of stuff recently. Maybe I'll check that out. Maybe we can make that happen. Maybe we can. Loves this shit. Don't lie, JL. Please. Travis handed you more than your fair share of beatdowns. More than your fair share of beatdowns. So, but I hope everybody is doing fantastic tonight. Oh man, a bunch of stuff that to talk about. But Cindy2 says, Plotto, I missed the beard ornaments this holiday season. I had to do the beard ornaments this year because Johnny wasn't doing it, so I did it. So I broke out the beard ornaments. So that on my stream, so that y'all could have that. So just keep feeding Travis's ego. Doesn't need to be fed. He's earned it. Oh, he earned it. All right. So, but we got a bunch of it's a damn. I will say this because Johnny can hear me. I will say this. It's a bummer because we're going to talk about the our most anticipated horror films of 2024, like the ones we're looking forward to the most. And I got a handful that I'm really looking forward to, and I would have loved to hear from all of y'all what you guys thought, what your most anticipated horror films were. And then we're going to get right into a trailer that I came across, and then we're going to dive into tonight's selection. So, 2024, brand new spanking year. Oh, Sue says, I missed. Wait, said when? It was the last live stream I did on my personal channel. I did kind of an end of the year stream, and Johnny came on, and Tony came on, and we had some guests. We talked about stuff that happened in 2023. So, but yeah, I had the beard ornaments going on that I did that stream. So, because I bought them for last year, I bought them for 2022, but we never did it in 2022. So I took it upon myself to do it in 2023. So and that's how that went out. Yes, and yes, apparently the blinkies were very, very bright. So, I guess my lighting wasn't set up for like LED flashers in my beard. So, but it was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. So 2024, brand new year, all new stuff coming out, interesting stuff. And I'm looking forward to a lot of it. So I can tell you that. And while there's not trailers out for most of these, I can say that the films that I'm most looking forward to coming out. Wait, he's saying wait? I don't wait for what? You're tired and old, aren't you? I'm old and infirm. I thought you were running low. I thought the tank was low. Maybe he ate a banana. I don't know. It was a J.J. Abrams Lens Fair Christmas. Fuck, yes, it was. Yes, it was Rodinelli's name. It absolutely was. He wants me to wait. Oh, so he's coming. And not in like, the intimate way. So he's going to arrive shortly. I guess. I guess he's going. I don't know. I don't see him here. I think he's fucking with me. I think he's trying to delay the show. Are you a saboteur, good sir? Was that what this has become? You need to sabotage the show in order to get back at Travis Brown? Is that how it happens?
What? I missed something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you were talking about movies. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Wow, I showed up. Yeah, there you go.
I have to get my tasty beverage. As you can see, I have nothing set up. Everything's in fucking disarray, but
actually, we can actually see the background of your wall correctly this time because now it's in there.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but there's weird shadows over here. I don't like it. But anyway, doesn't matter. You were talking about 2024 and films that we were looking forward to.
Yes, yeah. I have a handful that I'm looking forward to big time.
I also have a couple that I am looking forward to. And I can't
tell me this. You popped on. You popped on just to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hang on a second. Let me double check something here. Fucking hell. Okay, cool. Simply because there are some things that are going on in the background that could be really, really awesome. Let me hear about your movies. Let me hear about your
background of your studio, or in the background of
Yes, in the background of my studio, you fucking asshat. Actually, yes, in the background of my studio.
You're pointing at the plot hole sign.
Am I? Am I pointing at the plot hole?
No, I know what poster you're pointing at now. I do. So
go ahead, tell us your movies. Yeah.
So the movies that I'm looking forward to. Sarcasm says, "Thank you for being here, Johnny O. I was exhausted from trashing all the movies in your despicable absence."
I know it's been a minute. I have a fucking mountain of work that I'm supposed to be doing, but I figured
it's a hill.
No, it is a mountain of work, and once I give you the movies that I'm looking forward to this year, you'll understand what that mountain of work is. But Go ahead. Your movies that you're looking forward to in 2024, and I swear to Christ, if it's something stupid, I'm gonna fucking.
It's not something stupid. Okay, so I would say the top 3 movies that I'm looking forward to. Actually, no, I'm gonna say top 4.
Okay.
Like there are 4 movies that I am eagerly anticipating for 2024, and the first one is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I'm really looking forward to that. Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, Robert Eggers.
Yeah, I'm like super curious to see how that's going to turn out, simply because of the cast, right? I mean, Nosferatu is like, okay, we've done Dracula a bazillion times, and doing a remake of Nosferatu. I guess you can kind of get away with it because it's Nosferatu and it was, fucking whatever it was. But when they gave the cast, I was like, this is, especially, Willem Dafoe, whose real name is William, by the way. Most people don't know that. I don't know why he calls himself Willem. Anybody know? Anybody?
I think it might have to do probably with something that somebody used to call him because they couldn't pronounce William.
His nephew. Yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
But Nosferatu, big time looking forward to Nosferatu. The second one I'm looking forward to is Fede Alvarez's Alien Romulus. So Alien,
I'm so fucking because everybody's all high on him about the fucking 2013 fucking Evil Dead. I'm like, man, that was fucking
not
garbage.
just that. I mean, he did Evil Dead. He did Don't Breathe.
Yeah. No, really.
Girl in the Spider's Web. So
yeah, no, absolutely. No, don't get me wrong. I don't hate on Fede Alvarez. I think he's done some good work, and the things. Even though I didn't particularly care for the Evil Dead. I guess it's not really a remake, but we all fucking know it's a remake. Even though I didn't really care for it, it still looks really good and is very well put together. I just didn't particularly like it. But that being said, he's one of those ones that I'm like, we'll see what happens here. I don't know. I'm reserving my judgment on that one.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a standalone Alien film, so it is set in between the events of the first Alien and Aliens. So, and few details are out, but I'm really looking forward to that one hitting. So,
and that's the second reason why I'm worried about this one here, because outside of Alien and Aliens, everything out, it's just been fucking hot fucking garbage. It's just not good. It's not been good.
Well, solid director comes along. Maybe we'll have something good. Maybe we will. Like I said, I'm excited about it. The third film that I am super stoked about is, of course, Terrifier 3. I'm because I'm a Damien Leone fan. I am a David Howard Thornton fan. I love what he brought to that. I got more excited because the people who were behind, aside from Damien Leone, did a movie called The Jester, which recently came out, and Damien Leone. David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, was the Jester in the movie The Jester. And while that movie in itself wasn't like top notch, it was interesting in its dialogue and the way it was written. It explored some themes that don't often get explored, which I found kind of intriguing. But it wasn't. But the technical wasn't really there for the film. But there were some good moments. But it goes to show that David Howard Thornton is a master of the craft, and the fact that Terrifier 3 will be a Christmas-themed film instead of a Halloween-themed film. I'm really looking forward to that. So I've grown to So Jinju, good to see you. Says I've grown to love Art the Clown. I love what he brought to that role, and I cannot wait for the third one, Terrifier 3, and the fourth one, and the last one that I'm looking forward to. And this is only because I'm a nerdy horror fan, and so. No, if you remember, back in the day, if you remember back in, I think it was 1986, do you remember a movie called Witchboard?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're remaking it.
Wow. See, you can get away with remaking Witchboard because I guarantee you, outside of the two of us, maybe two people in the side chat have ever fucking seen this film.
Okay. So, directed by Charles Russell and written by Charles Russell, and it's a straight up remake of Witchboard, and I liked Witchboard, but most importantly, it is starring Madison Eisman and Jamie Campbell. Jamie Campbell, people might remember who played Vecna in the most recent season of Stranger Things, will be returning in Stranger Things season 5 in order to complete that series. So, but Jamie Campbell is a phenomenal actor. And just looks the part. I know exactly. He plays Alexander in the role in the film. So I'm looking forward to a remake of Witchboard. So those are my top 4 big ones that I'm looking forward to. Everything else, I'm pretty much either 50-50 or like 40-60, 30-70 on. Just I don't even know.
I really haven't even kept up with what's coming out next year, or I guess this year now. Fuck.
There's a couple other ones that probably get some like Night Swim might be interesting. Lisa Frankenstein might be interesting. Winnie the Pooh 2, the sequel to Winnie the Pooh 2, that one comes out.
I'm not interested in that at all. Fucking so stupid.
Quiet Place is getting another entry. The Strangers is getting another entry. So
that'll be the third or the fourth Strangers.
The third, it'd be the third one. It's technically it's a third one, but it's a prequel. So yeah. So I mean, and then you got the movie Imaginary coming out from Blumhouse, which we watched the trailer. The trailer looks really good on that one. So there's some interesting stuff, just none that have really grabbed me, other than those top four. And Witchboard only because I am just I love 80s fucking horror and
80s horror. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not fucking sorry. If you disagree with me, you're just fucking wrong. With 80s, first and foremost, the 80s was the greatest generation for all fucking film. Period. Hands down. You can't argue with me, okay? But it talks about golden age, fuck off. No. Action was the best, comedy was the best, horror was the best.
I just said, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. Come on.
Of course. But like I said, it's just the best. And then after that, the 90s kind of fucking took and then 2000s, it just went fucking downhill from there.
Yes, don't get Eugene started on that shit. I can tell you one that I'm not looking forward to.
What's that?
And that's the new Omen film.
Oh,
at all.
Fuck's sake.
I'm not. The first Omen. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. It was like, why?
Nobody we already have the origin of the Omen. Fuck. It was called the Omen.
Yeah,
hey, we need an origin story for the birth of the Antichrist. Yeah, it's called the Omen. No. One before that.
Well, I mean, you mean it failed before?
Are we going back to
something new gonna happen?
Are we going back to ancient Babylon, or what are we fucking doing here?
Yeah. So the original trilogy was all we needed, but the first Omen, not. Even though there's been some images that have come out about it, I believe there's a teaser trailer out, but I am not excited. I'm not looking for it. I'm saying that one's going to be. No, that's just a throwaway. So I'm not looking forward to that one. But there's some good stuff coming up,
I'm kind of worried about this year because the strikes and whatnot. And I don't know if IATSE is going to strike, but I know that their contract is up this year. So there's a potential that Crewside will strike this time. And if that happens, then let's pause it again. But I don't know, man. This year is looking very, very strange indeed.
I do know that Dakota Fanning's got a new one coming out.
She used to be such a good actress.
That they're shooting up in Ireland, called The Watchers, which is which is obviously going to be a horror thriller that's going to dive into Irish fairy lore, and likely that one got greenlit because of the success of another one. That was dang it, what was it? The Intruders? No, it was I can't remember it. But anyway, it was a film about a couple that moves to Ireland that inherits a property, and it turns out that the property is under the kind of auspices of the Red Caps, and as long as you protect the Red Caps and you give them gifts and give them food and shit, they will protect your home and protect your interests. And so
what do they like to eat?
Well, okay, so it doesn't have to be people, but I mean, they will take people if necessary, and so, but they'll also defend the property with their lives, which I thought, but that was a pretty fucking good movie, and given how good that one was, I see we got the Watchers coming up. But what are you looking forward to in 2024? So, what's this big thing that you have?
That's what I'm looking forward to, right up there. Now. I can't.
Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I mean,
I will speak with you after the show about these things because there are some information that I do need from you.
Nobody ever fucking tells me anything.
I'm always the last.
I'm always the last to fucking know. I swear.
Okay.
It's probably my own fault.
It is your own fault
because I'm stuck in my office. I'm stuck in my office all the time, just writing. Yeah. And so, hey, did we tell JL? Did we? Someone get him on the phone.
Well, to be fair, a lot of things just happened over the course of the past 48 hours that are culminating into a meeting
Nick
on
Nolte,
yeah,
Eddie
Nick
Murphy
Nolte,
style.
Eddie Murphy style. Yep. Back when Nick Nolte could actually speak without sounding like he's about to die.
It only worked. You said the dogs up. And it really only worked in Warrior, because that was perfect. He was the Irish alcoholic dad, and he's like, "Oh, sons,
right? Yeah. So, yeah. I remember when he was in the remake of Arthur. I was like, God damn, Nick, you fucking dead already? Fuck.
Oh man, Houston.
It worked. It worked in that.
Sidney Johnson, good to see you, Sidney Johnson.
It worked in the cartoon Over the Hedge when he was the cranky old bear. I was like, okay, yeah, it works. But outside of that, I think you need some rehab.
That's hilarious.
No, I am looking forward to that. There's some things, some developments that could be happening fairly, I say quickly, but you know how these things kind of, they like a whole lot of stuff happens and then there's a lull and then big things happen, right? And honestly, that probably wouldn't come out until next year anyways, but there's some things happening on that end. And we have a production that we are in pre-production right now. So those are two things that I'm looking forward to in 2024. Film wise, I got to say, because I haven't really been paying attention to what's coming out. I don't think there's nothing that's really grabbed my attention that says, hey, look at me. The movies you mentioned, I'd heard of some, like I heard of the new Alien film. I'm like, just I don't think it's going to be good.
If I remember correctly, Alien Romulus, I think is slated for Hulu.
I think so. I think you're right.
And what? Okay, so throwing out there the possibility. I'm not saying this guarantees anything, but given what Hulu did, or given how they brought about Prey, how they allowed that director to do what they want. The director had a vision. They allowed the whole like Navajo thing. That was the director's vision, and Hulu did not interfere. So
Hulu was like, what we got to lose? Everybody fucking hates all the Predator shit after Predator 1.
Let him fucking go with it and do with it. And so if Hulu doesn't interfere and allows Alvarez to bring his vision as both a director, as both a very accomplished director and a fan, I say the possibility is there.
I'll watch it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not excited about it. I'm kind of like, oh fuck. Oh jeez. It's like when you got to go to Thanksgiving dinner and that one uncle that you don't want to fucking talk to is going to be there. Yeah.
Hey Johnny, Nick Nolte, what are you doing here?
Nick Nolte, what are you doing here? And then Joshua Lee reminds me that the Toxic Avenger reboot. I don't know. I think it's interesting that. I don't know, man. The whole appeal to those trauma films is the fact that they're so shitty. You know what I mean? They're just over the top schlock, and it's fun. That I really miss talking about my favorite trauma film, Night of the Chicken Dead. I missed it. I really wanted to be there. And I know, and I had a fucking job and I had to work overnight. It's the same Nollywood thing that I did last night, or I guess until early this morning. That was interesting. But yeah. Man, I can't think of anything any films that are coming out that I'm like, oh, I gotta see that shit. Nothing really has stuck itself out. I'm kind of worried about this year. I feel like the movies you mentioned, some of them could be good, but there could be some real letdowns.
I think that I got good feelings for some of them, and of course, Casey Cooper has also brought up Deadpool 3 and a new X-Men movie this year. Given some rumblings that have come out of Disney and some rumblings that have come out of Ryan Reynolds, the Deadpool 3 shoot has been problematic, apparently. And and Ryan Reynolds is not the kind of person who is going to bend on a project. He knows what works. He knows what sells. He knows what fans want. That's one of the things that makes Ryan Reynolds so endearing to his fan base is because he's very much in touch with what they want and what the public is desiring, and he knows what they don't want as well. And if he is already at this point coming to, even with the promise of bringing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, if he's already having problems with there, I don't know what the fate of what Deadpool 3 is going to look like. I'll still go watch it if and when it comes out, but I'm not.
The problem that Deadpool 3 has is the fact that people have wanted this Wolverine Deadpool reunion for decades, right? And
they've wanted it ever since
Deadpool,
since Wolverine, since X-Men Wolverine. They wanted it ever since that, because that wasn't it. We want the real one.
You're
Holy
right.
shit!
I know. What's up, buddy?
It's so nice. It's so nice to have them here tonight.
Mm.
So actually, I wanted to chime in on the whole Deadpool
talk. We lassoed him in.
So one of the things that Ryan Reynolds has actually been getting really upset about is that he had a list of surprise cameos that he wanted legit to be a surprise like Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2. Right. And the studio has been releasing name after name after name, and it ruins the effect of the movie that he wanted.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool's like his baby. That's what he loves, and that's his project. And he's kind of bent Hollywood and even the MCU to the point of him because it's so successful. And now they're like, look, we can market this. And he's like,
yeah.
Now people are going to be watching this movie looking for the names of the people. And
what the fuck are you doing?
For them. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? JL, I got Eugene the greatest fucking Christmas gift ever. He'll never know it's a brand new camera.
I mean, listen, I'm still going to like it.
I'm not going to say no. Yes, well, welcome, Eugene. So before we jump on to the next one, and I hope you guys stick around because I've got a trailer kicked up that I cannot wait to show you because it's going to be amazing. But Eugene, are you?
Hang on a second. Wait a second. No, because this goes into your question of the films we're waiting for. My daughter already did that to mine right here. See,
she did. Are you chewing on the microphone?
Anyway,
don't eat the pop filter, please.
Daddy needs that for work, dear. Daddy needs that for work. So, without saying a whole lot, Eugene, JL is wondering what we're looking for in this year.
Potentially 2 movies.
Okay, so here comes Eugene to kind of bring it back down, bring it back to reality. So I like the energy we have here. Like Johnny's like, whoa, and then Eugene's like, oh, hang on a second.
Hang on a second. We're actually
okay.
You remember Benji? You remember the movie Benji?
Aaron Reese is here today. They shot the Garfield Spider-Man to shit with that cross-mark. They shot the Garfield Spider-Man to shit with that cross-marketing crap. That's true. And they definitely took a lot of the wind out of that by doing that huge reveal of all the Spider-Mans together. It was just like, it was such a bummer. That would have been a fantastic surprise. They brought in the villains. That'd have been good. Bring in the other Spider-Man. That would have been, people would have like flipped their shit. Word of mouth would have been brilliant. But it's Disney, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it blew its loads early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sally's Culling says, hey, everyone. Yes, I remember Benji. Benji the Hunted. I remember that fucking movie. Oh, so any big ones that you are highly anticipating in 2024, Eugene? Any big ones?
So I'll go to the other films first, and then I'll talk about I know what Johnny's been basically just waiting to talk about. There's been kind of a handful. I am definitely looking forward to the new Strangers Chapter 1. I think that could be very interesting. Strangers is one of my all-time favorite horror films. It's just everything, the way it's shot, the pacing of it, the slow burn of it, and then the ending is just like perfection. of that film. So
because
I'm
you're home, Eugene.
Because you're well. What makes that movie so good is the brutal stabbing at the end. Because it's not like a quick, and it kills them.
Right.
They kind of like place the knife, and then they just slowly push it in,
Yeah.
like repeatedly. So I mean, that's what it's perfection.
Why did I just think? Why did I just think Devil's Rejects? You know, I kind of stuck in her, kind of fucked her with a little bit. You know, William Forsythe is a fucking savage.
Yes, he is. Played Flat Top in Dick Tracy. Sorry.
So I'm also looking forward to A Quiet Place Day One. I think that's going to be. It's just a nice action. I like the little snippets in A Quiet Place 2 of like the day one of the asteroid and they're playing baseball, and then you have the whole sequence when the creatures just start attacking the town, which I really enjoyed. So I'll be okay. I'll watch a movie of that. I have mixed feelings on Alien Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do, because like Johnny has a point. First one, awesome. Second one, amazing.
Wait. First one, you're talking Alien. Awesome.
Yeah, Alien, awesome.
Aliens.
The
awesome.
greatest sci-fi horror film ever.
Alien 3, awesome, though you won't recognize it.
No. Alien 3, a big awesome turd.
Okay. We'll diverge at this point in the woods. Alien Resurrection.
Oh,
crap.
Oh yeah, we across the board. Crap.
Okay, across the board.
Fucking
okay.
Crap. Okay.
So it's good to know that you guys aren't totally insane.
Night of drinking.
So AVP, wasted opportunity. Requiem. I wish I could erase it from my brain. But Prey, phenomenal.
Prey's good.
Prey's not an alien film. It's a Predator film.
It's same universe.
I don't give a shit.
What it proves is that they can actually take a franchise that has made a bunch of crap and turn something good every once in a while.
There you go. Same with
Notice
Aliens.
how you didn't even
bring no, sorry. Prometheus. No, Prometheus. I got it, but it's not what I wanted. I got it, but it wasn't what I wanted.
That. No one. We're like, cool. I remember looking at a trailer and I'm like, is this an Alien film?
I remember when they announced it, when they said Ridley Scott coming back to do Alien prequels, like Ridley Scott, Alien. Fuck yes. And then that's what they gave me.
What did I say? Prometheus. Not what we were hoping for, not what we wanted. But a movie, and then Covenant.
Oh, fuck off. Covenant. Oh, robot bad. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I don't know what was going through Ridley's mind, but you can't have a scene with two Michael Fassbenders, you know, and it's like, you blow and I'll handle the fingering. Come on, man. What are you? I'm not trying to shame here, but we wanted an Alien film. You know, it's like it wasn't what we were expecting.
Ridley Scott wanted to give us everything except what we actually wanted.
Except what we wanted.
The entire Prometheus film, you're like, okay, so the aliens are coming, right? They're coming.
Sure.
Are they? Okay, we got a big guy who's drinking black goop, but the aliens are no.
Sure, they're coming. Yeah, 2 movies from now. 2 movies from now. And it's going to be just me re-releasing Alien.
Covenant was almost like at the end. It's kind of like, oh shit, that's right. It's supposed to be an Alien movie. Okay, let's have like the third act. Let's throw it in there, and then we'll just do what we did in the first Alien film.
Yeah,
you know, we'll just pull an Ellen Ripley, just throw them in an airlock, and whap, there's somebody else's problem. Let me see. Zachary Hooper says, holy shit, the plot hole, you trimmed your beard. Yes. And good to see you, Zachary Hooper. He did. He cut off his power. That's why he's so tired all the time. Aaron Reed says, aliens in an isolated town like 30 Days of Night would be pretty fucking cool. That would be awesome. That would be a good
we have that.
idea.
We have aliens in an isolated town. It's called Aliens.
Wait. Say, Aaron reads, hippos are scared. Where's my hungry hippos horror movie? And then Aaron
That's
says,
a good fucking question.
It would just be Jaws the Herd. Tonight's tangent brought to you by the Alien franchise. Yes, it was. Yes, it is. So, but given all this stuff, given the stuff that people have been hinting at in the live chat, obviously we know that with the expiration of certain copyrights, we have gotten the opportunity. We've gotten some insane fucking horror films. We got Winnie the Pooh. We actually, that gave rise to people. Oh, we could take this old stuff, turn it into horror films. We got a Grinch horror film, even though they call it the mean one. We got a Grinch horror film. We got Mary Had a Little Lamb. We got a horror film based off of that one. Its fleece is red as blood, which is that's the tagline. But there's another one, an even bigger one that recently expired, and that was, of course, Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie, the copyright recently expired. Now, while there are some rules in how it can be portrayed in a particular way, it's pretty loose, and we already have the very first trailer.
It's also important to remember that it's Steamboat Willie, not Mickey Mouse.
Not Mickey Mouse.
There's
two different characters.
Yeah.
So 2 different characters. But we've already got the first trailer for a Steamboat Willie style horror film.
See, we were talking about this last night on set. Like, someone has a countdown. They did the pre-production, and they're like, on the day that expires, they're on set, like watching their watch, and they're just like 3, 2, 1, action.
and so I bring you the trailer for Mickey's Mousetrap.
Oh no!
Oh man!
So let's cue up the terror tube.
The bar is pretty low. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's Tokar from fucking. God damn, them German shepherds are bad motherfuckers.
Hi, boss.
Oh, the scene that traumatized everybody?
Yeah.
It didn't traumatize me.
These are the best party that we can throw.
I've seen some rejections in my time, but man, that was a lot.
There's blood all over the jungle gym.
Blood?
Yes.
And the Oscar doesn't go to.
I'm really disappointed in the lack of Steamboat in this.
Yeah, he's like completely in love with me already. It's totally disgusting.
Put the phone down! Put the phone down, please!
I was like to do that. Already stopped.
Gina, turn around, please, Gina!
Oh my!
I'll be right back. And he's dead.
What?
Like if he was in a horror movie, you'd never say, "I'll be right back."
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Wow!
Where the hell did he go?
I'm waiting for y'all.
Wow. They didn't even try. Wow.
Aaron Reed says that's just, for God's sake, it's some asshole in a mouse mask. You're right. It is. The film is literally a slasher film where the killer is wearing a Steamboat Willie mask. That's what it is.
I mean, they wanted to use every single cliche in the book. They're like, we're not going to bring anything to the genre. You've seen this 100 times already, and we're just going to slap Steamboat Willie's face on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the cinematography looks terrible. They had one location the entire time. The acting is like, I've seen better acting in like a high school play. Just wow.
Hey, Sherry Tilly, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you hanging out. Yep. Oh, yes. Casey Cooper, you're right. I think it killed Johnny. Yeah, it probably killed Johnny.
If I had the shark fart sound clip.
Yeah, but that just goes to show it is out there. The trailer has hit, and I don't have any high expectations of this. But you never. Okay, so I was actually surprised by Winnie the Pooh. I was pleasantly surprised by Winnie the Pooh. But I don't think we're gonna have it with this one. I honestly don't. I don't know. I don't.
I wasn't even a big fan of the Winnie the Pooh movie. I was kind of like, on that. And then this is like if you took The Butcher and then you just put Steamboat Willie's face on it. That's exactly like I picture the kills being like that stupid and that like super cliche, and like we talked about how they're like ready as soon as like the copyright ended. Apparently that's when they wrote it. Like they must have finished filming like 2 days ago.
Yeah, they fucking filmed and canned this bitch in 48 hours.
Yeah. But yes, that is the trailer for Mickey's Mousetrap coming out. So to you out there listening, to you in the live chat, and of course to you listening at the top of the week, let us know, number one, first and foremost, what movies are you looking forward to in 2024? Your most anticipated horror films of 2024. Do you agree with any of the ones that we talked about? Apologize that we got lost in the alien rant right there, but let us know what you're looking forward to. And of course, if you are like looking forward to Mickey's Mousetrap or not looking forward to it, or if you have any commentary whatsoever. But then again, no commentary is commentary in and of itself. So you may not say anything and we'll totally understand you.
We will absolutely understand and put words in your mouth that may or may not be true.
Sally Cullen says there wasn't any steamboat in that, Willie.
I thought it was going to be on a steamboat.
It should have been. It's such a opportunity they missed.
There's
so many ways to go about that, right? There's so many ways you could have gone about that. That would have been clever. That would have been
like on a riverboat, like on a river, okay. You could have said it. You could have said it on like on a gambling boat,
right,
on the river. So it's like a steamboat, and then it's like doing a tour, like during like a poker tournament.
It could be fucking It could have been Hatchet meets Maverick. It would have been great. We've been thinking about it for all of 5 fucking minutes, and I've already come up with a better idea.
We've already got a better premise. we actually have a killer now that has motive, and it can go in different ways. There could be a twist at the end. There could be something that we don't know going on. There's a number of ways you could play that because you have multiple elements in the script. Plus, you've kept it to one location, which is the boat. Leading to the boat, then on the boat, then off the boat at the very, very end. And even then, you could do like the mouse coming out of the water thing. And like he survives or some shit. I don't fucking know. Okay, but
boom,
I mean,
look at that. Here's another great idea.
Costume party on a riverboat.
Yes. But see, the thing
is
like
our
version
writers.
Our version requires actually watching the cartoon and utilizing elements, which takes brain power, not just oh, I'm in Celebration Station, like just a slasher film.
Awesome. Aaron Reed, Steamboat Willie, aka Mickey Does the Mississippi.
Yeah, buddy.
Live rewrites. Fuck yes, sarcasm. Live rewrites. And our live rewrites are always so much better than what was out there. But that's, you know what? Because we know the material and we're really fucking good at what we do. So we're just going to throw that out there.
Or
brilliant minds. They put this shit. It's not hard. I mean, this isn't even like, high level shit. This is just kind of like, you have this
shit.
You have this element and you have this element. That's easy. You only need to make 2 elements work in a horror film. It's like, fine, that's great. We got a character and then we got a location.
Right.
Now we just need to fucking kill people. It's pretty much it.
Yes.
And imagine the creative kills you could have like on a steamboat.
Oh, especially ones with like the big fucking,
I was thinking that too.
The killer has to go through that. The killer has to go off the back. That has to be the big deal. And then caught up in the big brrr, and then blah, 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 like this, and then he disappears. There's like blood everywhere. But then is he really dead because they couldn't find a body? Or maybe they just find the mask,
Yeah,
and then, there you go.
Like something like that. You could have a great steam kill, like you tossing someone in a boiler or something.
Oh yeah.
Or just their face. Just their face. Yeah. That way you get the practical effects. Oh, like this, and then bring him back like like Jason X style.
Fucking Jason X, yeah. Comes
right,
out
there you go.
Being frozen, is melted off.
Like the horn.
Oh, them screaming can be covered up by the horn. That's why nobody hears it.
Exactly.
Yes,
See?
that's how you do it.
Fuck.
We got both tits and ass. We have a winner. We have to do. And then Sarcasm says, I think the brainstorming tangents are my personal favorite segments. Face grind on the steam engine. There's so many ways you could do that. Because you got so many. You have the galley. Which basically you have the kitchen, which is basically all kinds of shit that can go on in there.
Right.
You've got the engine room. You've got the deck. You've got the main deck. You've got the big. I don't know what the wheel is in the back that pushes the.
Yeah, it's like on the bridge that steers
the
home control.
You've got all kinds of shit that you could play with, and
they just said no. We're going to do it like Friday Night at Freddy's.
Even Friday the 13th Part 8 found interesting ways to use the yacht in order to come up with creative kills.
Right.
Even if it was just Jason chucking a dude off and having him impaled on an antenna down below. At least they gave a reason why they can't call out for help because he used it to kill someone. See?
Exactly.
It's supposed to play into the plot.
He kills a lady with a guitar. Why?
That shit was fucking awesome. Because it's an axe.
Yes.
He killed someone with a sauna stone. Come on.
Through the motherfucker. I mean, come on.
Through the motherfucker. Although I did love that scene because he comes in and when he grabs it, it's like
yeah.
So I see great shit like that. All right.
You know it's bad.
The paddle wheel. Yes, the paddle wheel.
Jason X is better than the shit that you're about to put out. Fuck.
We're looking to Jason X for inspiration. That's bad. You have lost the plot, my friend.
Your movie sucks.
You couldn't even look back at the one of the most. Jason X is damn near almost as maligned as Jason 9, as Jason Goes to Hell. Okay, at least Jason X had like Uber Jason, had some funny moments, and it was very tongue-in-cheek. Jason 9 was trying to be fucking serious. Yeah. At least with Jason X, I mean, come on. It's like bottom of the barrel, almost the worst Friday film ever made, and you couldn't even look to that shit for some inspirational kills. It's like, come on, guys. All right.
I do find it funny that according to Jason
down the river, murdering his way along.
Yep, there you go. See, tagline. Boom. Fuck.
Hour in and haven't gotten to this week's movies. Well, it's actually because I thought I was going to be solo. So, I mean, if these guys dip, it's going to be perfect because I can cover the 4 in an hour, so I don't have to fill the void. But,
I'm down. I definitely would want to talk about Daybreakers, so I was going to stick around for that one also.
Oh, okay, awesome, cool. But yes, let's dive. Okay, so since you're here, we actually bring up the script because I kind of like push it to the side.
Script. He needs a script.
Well, actually, I redid this. So you have to tease the paddle wheel killed twice before killing the killer on the paddle. This is true. See, look at this. This is how you make fucking horror films. This is how you do it. Okay.
You actually hire people who fucking appreciate the genre, number one. Number two, respect the source material. And number three, have a goddamn brain.
So true. So, so Johnny, I had you slated in just in case you were here, I had you slated to introduce the first film. So if you want to, you can. I'm going to give fair warning. Because of this trailer, there is the possibility that the stream might take a hit because of the cover song that's in the trailer. Okay. I tried to tweak it as best I could, but it's so prominent in the trailer, I don't know. So it may happen. So the question is, should we play it? Because I've set it all up. Should we play the trailer or should we just skip the trailer? Because I've got the trailer queued up in the Terror Tube. But there's a possibility we might get the ding and we might be like, and then have to come back up a few minutes later.
What you do is you play it. And then after 6 seconds, you pause it. We make a funny woohoo, and then play it again. And
okay, I can try that because it doesn't start until about 3/4 of the way through the trailer. So,
okay, well then,
we can try. Yeah. Okay, all right. So go ahead and kick us off.
Oh, sorry. We are talking about a 2009 science fiction action horror film called Daybreakers. Let's check this puppy out.
Ronnie, what do we got? We got units headed out there now. EMS and fire.
See, I'm totally down for more of this scene.
Bye.
I fucking love Stephen Jeffries. I do.
Screams like a girl.
I don't know who the hell you think you are, but I'd like you to apologize for my wife.
Like the origin of when they come get your grandma. Yeah, I hate
Do you like being a vampire, son? I'm good at this. I was never very good at being human. Immortality is the miracle. We are blessed.
What happens when there isn't a single drop left?
These are desperate times.
We only have enough blood to sustain our population till the end of the month.
We're talking about the extinction of the human race.
Blood substitute is not found immediately. This will happen to all of us.
A substitute would replace our need for a human supply.
There will always be those who are willing to pay extra for the real thing.
We need your help.
We want to rebuild the human race.
A blood substitute is not a cure.
I was like you once, and not no more. Who are you? We're the folks with the crossbows. That last breath of humanity will vanish as soon as the blood does. I found a cure. I can change you back.
What's the cure?
They could kill you.
I'm already dead.
Doesn't hurt me.
Can anyone hear me?
Wanna feel how it feels.
They found us. They're everywhere.
You wanna know that it doesn't hurt
me. Oh no! La-di-da,
make a deal. Get out to swap our place.
Action's good right there.
Running up that road.
Explosion.
Running up
made it. We made it.
Yeah,
So Daybreakers is a 2009 science fiction action horror film written and directed by Michael and Peter Sperig. The film takes place in a futuristic world overrun by vampires and centers around a vampiric corporation which sets out to capture and farm the remaining humans while researching a substitute for human blood. Gross. Obviously, we've got Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Claudia, was it Carbon? Michael Dorman, Sam Neill, and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. It's Daybreakers is an interesting one. I'm not a huge vampire film. I'm not a huge fan of the vampire genre just in general, because I think that we kind of bastardize the idea behind what vampirism is about. But this one gets it right. I will say that this one definitely gets it right when we're talking about an elitist class of people that are taking advantage of those who are less fortunate. So,
yeah, this is a movie I like because it's a different take. Because a lot of times vampires are in the shadows, they're in the backgrounds, they're underlaid, they're far away in their castles, and it's an interesting take on what if vampires won? And then took over the world. Cool. Well, wow, man, we're all immortal. We all have these powers. We're all super strong. We can do this. But then now there's no food, and it kind of cuts right back to it. So I think this was a very interesting take on. It's like vampires keep trying to achieve. It's like a dog chasing a car, where it's like you keep trying, but the dog wouldn't know what to do if it actually caught the car.
Yep.
And vampires catch the car in this one.
Nice Batman reference.
I first got to point out. So you heard it here. You heard it from him, from Eugene's own mouth. This is a movie that came out in 2009, and he liked it.
I've said that there's 6 good movies that came out between 2005 and 2010.
So I dug this one as well. I dug the idea that I do agree with Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's statements on Daybreakers when this movie came out. I remember when he was on the interview circuit, and he was talking about that the film is essentially kind of low art, and but the reason that he took it is because of the underlying, number one, because of the concept. The concept itself, it's a high concept and has a lot of interesting sci-fi elements as well as the horror elements, and he liked that crossover. But he also dug the messaging behind the film in and of itself. So, but you got essentially a story that's been told a number of times before. Now, Johnny, I think I agree with you in the idea that the vampires basically feeding upon the upper aristocracy feeding upon the lower class is essentially what that is. That kind of that metaphor is. This is essentially the same kind of thing. The 1%ers kind of feeding upon, or getting every last drop they can out of the people who are not them. And I get in order to sustain themselves regardless of the cost. So it's a message that's been, I would say, repeated time and time again throughout human history. The issue that I had on this one is that it's actually kind of like a 2-part same issue. One is that it definitely is the flashiest message that you'll ever get, because it's obvious the subtext of this film is saying something like, wow. The problem is that, and maybe this was intentional by the Spiegel brothers, by the Sperig brothers, was that it's really hard to tell what message they're trying to say. There's obviously a capitalism message there. There's obviously an environmental message going on. I mean, but you could apply that message to a number of things. So is that the Sperig brothers? So I was kind of are the Sperig brothers saying that we have many problems, but they're all kind of the same? Or did they not really want to land on one problem and push that? They capitalism, or class warfare, or environmental, or racism, or
but I think that all those things that you're talking about ultimately hint or point to the topic that they're talking about in this film, right? So when we're talking about the 1%ers, well, what happens when everybody becomes a 1%er? Now what? Now what happens? Well, now the 1%ers start to feed on their own, right? So that's what we're talking about. We're like, well, there are people in that line that Sam Neill gives, there are people that will pay premium for the real thing. You know what I mean?
Money.
And that's how, right. I mean, obviously, we're talking about class warfare. We're talking about what happens when the aristocracy wins and everybody is now a 1%er. Who's a 1%er then? Well, then it's going to be the other guys who have control of, you know what I mean?
The 1% of the 1%, and the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, so on and so forth.
Exactly. That like the American dream per se isn't exactly realistically obtainable for everybody. Because if it is, then we just reset the clock on what it means to be, what that dream means to be, right?
It's if everyone's rich, no one's rich.
Right. That whole, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
and that's what I got. It's like I felt like that they visually, the film is fantastic. The film is wonderfully shot. The Spirit Brothers did a fantastic job there. I loved Ethan Hawke. I love Ethan Hawke in pretty much everything he does. And Sam Neill was fantastic. I like seeing Sam Neill as a bad guy. He's always fun because it's always fun to see him step out of the bubble and not be the typical good guy that he usually is. I like the concept of a
you say that, but if you look at all the Sam Neill performances, he hasn't been a good guy in a lot of horror films.
Well, okay, so no, so like a straight up bad guy, like he's the villain. Obviously, like you got like going all the way back to the Omen. You got to Omen 3. He was the bad guy in that one. But I love that he doesn't get the opportunity to play bad guys all that often, to be straight bad guys. I think I can think of 3 off the top of my head, and that's Omen 3, Event Horizon, and Daybreakers. But as far as that, he's either supporting, he can be unlikable characters, but characters that are justified, like his character in Peaky Blinders, or a number of other things that he's been in, where it's kind of like, oh, he's a dick, but I get why he's a dick. And that kind of thing. So, but I like that, I like it when he gets to go full board, just like, full bad guy, just full, like chewing up the scenery and shit. It's just a lot of fun. Willem Dafoe is great. It just brings, like Willem Dafoe to it. He brings his energy. And I like the concept. I like the idea. Very, very, kind of like a what if kind of scenario. I just think that the message kind of gets lost in the flash. And they've delivered a movie that looked phenomenal, but kind of loses what it's trying to say, unless that was the intention of the directors, which I think
I think that's the intention. When you look at like examining art, and especially when it comes to like say song lyrics, I'll use that as an example, is the best lyrics are the ones that you can mold to what fits you. Instead of something that's super specific and is hammering like this one point in, it's something where if environmental issues impact you, then you can pick up on that. If social economic issues impact you, you can pick up on this and this and this. So you can mold it to something that hits closer to you than just watching something that's just so solidified. I like that.
So we can say that the Spirit Brothers identified the commonality amongst the major problems that we face as a species, which is essentially the us versus them mentality. Right. And that's what drives the idea is like the haves and the have-nots, the we versus them, the unknown, the people that you know versus the people that you don't know, that class versus this class, for whatever, doesn't matter the reasons why, but they identified that thing and then were able to turn it into an allegory of the world of vampires against humanity in that respect. So, and one thing I'll say is that the thing that sold me in this one is I love there were 2 moments that got me in this one. Actually, technically 3. The first one was the opening. I thought the opening was fucking brilliant. The child has been a vampire for so long and is now like at this point mentally wise, they're old, but still in the body, and then that unaliving themselves in that moment because you just did that despondency, giving up right there. In that, I love the imagery of that and what it's trying to say and how it sets the tone for the entire film. The second one was the big bloodbath at the very end when you have all the vampires and then humans and then and humans and then until eventually there's like 3 of them left. It's like, oh, you're the lucky ones. Yeah. But I also loved Willem Dafoe as a vampire describing day driving when the streets are fucking empty and you could just drive as fast as you fucking want. He's like, there's nothing in this world like day driving. And it's like, and I was like, that was, and plus the whole sequence when he like crashes, he's like, fuck this, he crashes his car, goes through the goddamn, he just injects through the windshield. I was like, holy all of the fucking effects in this were phenomenal, both subtle and extreme. I loved what they brought to it. Such a beautiful film, so extremely well done. Even the I couldn't find anything I couldn't like about it. It's just that I felt that the message was a little modified. So it's kind of like the flashiest message you could possibly get.
Well, like the one thing you look at, and one of the things I harp on in terms of the late 2000s is cinematography, and it has that CW like super polished look.
Yeah,
and this movie doesn't. This movie has a very traditional film look to it. I don't know what camera they shot.
I don't know. It kind of has a little bit of that CW-esque.
Very, very. It's not enough. It's distracting.
I don't know. For me, it is because I look at that shit thinking, God damn it, I can watch fucking Jessica Biel playing any of these fucking roles now. Jesus Christ.
Was that a swing at Blade Trinity?
Well, actually, it was a swing at Seventh Heaven, but yeah, I mean,
I thought it was a swing at Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So.
No, Texas Chainsaw. She was awesome in that. She was awesome in Texas Chainsaw. She was. I'm going to give her that. She was great.
I don't know what it. This is another tangent. But I don't know what it is about Jessica Biel. I don't know if it's that she's just picking the wrong projects, or she's just
the tall man. Yeah, I think she could have avoided that one. So I think she could have.
When I can look at your filmography and think, man, you were kind of good in Chuck and Larry and.
That's only because you got to see her bra. That's the only reason.
I mean, not even. I was just like, yeah, I could believe that you're an aloof attorney.
That's the one time, like literally, it's Adam Sandler's always going to have the very good looking woman. It's going to be. It's like him and Kate Beckinsale, him and whoever. And I get that. I get that. But for the first, it was like one of the rare movies, one of the rare like Adam Sandler movies where I was more interested in him and Kevin than was anybody else around them. It's like, oh, Jessica Biel's in this. Oh, Jessica Biel takes her top off. I don't care. Get back to the funny because watching these two guys, these two like New Yorkers, have to play a couple.
Well, like Jessica Biel has never had like screen presence. She's not somebody that like draws you in. And
that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
she's literally put any other actors in any of her roles, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I mean, the thing is that's the truth because she got she got famous from Seventh Heaven, and she kind of kept getting these leads, and they just it was just whatever. Like she was like pants.
Well, I would say, like Kristen Stewart, very much like Kristen Stewart in that respect. I would say it wasn't so much it was Seventh Heaven, it was the fact that she did Gear Magazine. She did her spread in Gear Magazine, and that's how she became famous because she was trying to break away from that good girl image.
Yeah.
But as far as Daybreakers goes, I really dug it. Another thing I think is really awesome about it is that despite this, none of the actors, despite the fact you got Willem Dafoe, you got Sam Neill, you got Ethan Hawke, you've got fucking hell, there was a number of others that were in that film that nobody overshadowed the plot, which I thought was fantastic. It wasn't like you go to see. That's what I love. I think that's what I fucking love about Ethan Hawke is that he brings a very, very subtle, natural energy to to every role he plays, and he never overshadows what's happening. Like I'll say, Mission Impossible, great fucking film, but Tom Cruise kind of overshadows that. There are actors who simply by virtue of who they are and their kind of panache or they kind of like their celebrity, they overshadow the film. It's a Tom Cruise movie. It's a Hugh Jackman movie. It was like you never get that with Ethan Hawke. He was sinister. It was like Ethan Hawke services the play. He services the plot. That was a fantastic. I love the first Sinister, and it's Ethan Hawke in it because he never overrides everything.
You look at the last two horror films he did. What was that one with the phone? The
Black Phone.
Black Phone. Yeah,
Black Phone.
That one was really good. And then the one he did
he carried that movie. I've rarely have I seen an actor maintain that much subtext without like you could see the turmoil going on there, and he plays it in his physicality instead of in exposition. Fucking brilliant!
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Holy shit!
He's a terrific performer, terrific actor. And then the one he did with Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali, the Netflix one.
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind.
Yeah.
That is. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that is a fantastic film.
Well done. And
yes, Julia Roberts was great.
She was. I was like, holy shit!
Man, that's somebody I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, it kind of surprised me. It was like, it's Julia Roberts, but it's got Mahershala Ali. It's got Ethan Hawke. It's got this is looking solid. And then Julia Roberts. Oh, is she going to drag everybody down with? No, she didn't.
She was fantastic.
She knocked it out to a fucking T.
Yeah,
I was impressed. Very, very creepy movie.
Even Kevin Bacon was like overshadowed by, because he was only in there for like half a second, but even still, you know what I mean?
He brings his own gravitas. You know, when Kevin Bacon's there, when Kevin Bacon's standing on the porch with a shotgun saying, "You need to get off my property right now." You take it seriously because it's Kevin fucking Bacon.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, Daybreakers
commercials ever, by the way.
Daybreakers, I dug. I think some people might. I don't know. Some people might feel a little too hit over the head with the message, that maybe it was too much. Yep. I personally think it was there, but it didn't overshadow the plot. It certainly didn't overshadow the visual appeal of the film. The film, visually is amazing. I think it's a great popcorn flick. Flashy and beautifully shot and well crafted with some good nuance and some kooky moments, that balance it out, some here and there. But like Ethan Hawke said, it's low art. It's high concept low art. And I think that's what works for it. But I don't know what other people think.
I don't know, but that's what I'm going to find out. Speaking of, was it too flashy? Was it not too flashy? What do you guys think? This is what I want to know. Remember, weekinhorror@gmail.com, in the side chat or the comment section down below. Was Daybreakers too much? Was it like too, here's a message, or was it not enough? Do you feel like we went too many different directions to keep that message or the artistic vision intact? Let us know. Love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I like this. Circa as a Blade.
Yeah.
Blade Runner.
That's a good. That's a good comparison.
That's a good comparison. I kind of yes, I agree with that. Raven Darkstar. Leave the World Behind is not a religious film. The movie essentially focusing. The movie essentially focuses on the fact that our nation in itself, as a from a fundamental aspect, is very what's the word? Starts with a D. Is fundamentally dysfunctional. That the underlying problems that pretty much we face every single day in our society are easily exploitable. That's the issue.
Raven Darkstar is thinking of that Left Behind series.
Oh, Left Behind.
Oh wait, no, not to be confused with that.
No, not that one. Or the one with Nicolas Cage.
Or the one with Nicolas Cage. No.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Johnny O will never be like, "Hey, here's a Nick Cage movie you see." That'll never happen.
Other than Mandy.
Not even Mandy.
And Color Out of Space.
Especially not Color Out of Space.
That movie's fucking amazing. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Nick Cage is what's wrong with me.
Oh,
look, here's the thing.
Anyway,
here, look, this is where I'm going to take take a step out of the character for a second. I Nick Cage is just not my jam. I don't particularly care for his choices. I don't particularly care for his acting style.
He's not your jam, but he's your peanut butter.
He's not my peanut butter either. He's not even the fucking crustless white bread that goes around it.
Nicolas Cage is the crust that you remove from the sandwich. That's sad.
No, here's the thing. Nick Cage, in his own right, people enjoy him, and that's great. He's just not for me. Something's just not for me. There's only so much that I can take before I'm like, fuck off.
Tang Whistle, good to see you. Says hello. Good to see you, Tang Whistle. Fantastic. Yes, Casey Cooper, especially Mandy. Thank you, Casey. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that.
Whenever I hear Mandy, I just think Barry Manilow. Okay.
Extra. I like Leave the World Behind. Saw it on a movie stream on MMM Discord. Speaking of which, when do we get it? I will try to stream something in the Discord very, very soon. I've been really busy over here since the start of the new year. I have some things like I promised on the live stream. I have some personal stuff that I'm angling at, and I'm setting that up. That takes time. So I've just been really busy behind the scenes here. You've seen the changes in the Discord. There's changes coming to the YouTube stuff. It's all kinds of stuff. It's all logistic. But I promise you, you will enjoy it, and I promise I will get back to it soon. Absolutely. All right, Eugene, you want to give our next one an intro?
Hang on, because I was not ready.
I can intro it. I'm prepped. I can intro it. I don't expect you. Okay. So the next one we have coming up, released January 11th, 2019, and we have A Wakefield Project. Let's check out this trailer. Cue up the Terror 2. Johnny, do you like the Terror 2, by the way? You like what we've done with it?
This is fun.
Awesome.
Oh no, here comes Mother. Spoilers.
I wonder what's going to happen to her.
Oh, just gonna tickle her.
There's my man right there.
It's the best Halloween movie ever.
Killed you.
Don't worry, kids. This will only happen to you during puberty.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Maybe we made a mistake coming out here. I was tired of the city anyway. I like it here.
Wow, so you guys bought the old inn. That place has been empty for as long as I can remember.
Kyle meets Kyle.
You know, people say it's haunted.
How much do you know about the history of this town?
Absolutely nothing, because we bought the place without even talking
In 2004, Nathan Cross took his vengeance out on 7 innocent women.
He was convicted and he was put to death. Now,
He's come back to claim his last victim.
Oh, fuck
Apparently
off.
this place is infamous in these parts. The Wakefield murders? We're sitting on a gold mine. You hired a clairvoyant?
Everything she says is based on scientific fact. We need your help.
solar flares release a massive energy into the universe. The solar flare changed the frequency between the living and the dead. I saw him, and he's coming back here, I'm sure of it.
You made me do this.
Bullshit.
We gotta go right now. Paid for that one.
I can't leave her. She's gone, Eric.
That whisper was really just them telling you that it's too late. You'll never unsee this shit fucking
You'll
movie.
never unsee it. So yes, that was a Wakefield Project.
Which you would think, based on that trailer, came out sometime in like 1985, but no, that was more recent.
So a Wakefield Project, threw me off. Damn it, what the fuck? I lost shit. Directed by L.A. Lopez, written by Lindsay Syme, and stars Lindsay Syme, Dennis Andre, and Anthony Buell. The film is basically follows a couple of buddies who have sunk a bunch of money into an inn in this little town, and with the intent to turn it into a B&B as a kind of like a start over card. And then they find out that the inn that they have bought was the former site of a notorious series of murders. And when they find this out, of course, it coincides with the arrival of a number of solar flares, which bring about my favorite fucking topic, quantum ghosts, baby. Yes!
No.
Yes, because the solar energy changes the frequency and then the ghosts can interact with the living. It's amazing. Quantum ghosts!
Where the fuck is Clive Barker when you need him?
Anyway, that's why I found this to be totally hilarious, because it's been an inside joke with me for as long as we live, that, all ghosts are ours energy, and all the energy has to do is shift, and then we can interact with them and shit. It's unknown phenomena. But nonetheless, the veil between the living and the dead suddenly lifts for like 24 hours, and all these ghosts come out, and one of them is the infamous murderer who is looking for revenge.
Totally original idea, by the way.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
So, okay, now I will say I'll say this straight out: the film not great. The problem with the problem I have is the biggest issue I have. Yes, you're right. It's not exactly original, but I like the premise. I like the premise of where they were going with it, that it is a rare phenomena that takes place, and then the supernatural event takes place. It kind of gives, there's maybe a scientific explanation to it, or scientific correlation. I don't know. I like the fact that they don't explore it because they don't need to. It's just something that happens, and then it has an effect that is like, oh, it's shocking. It's like that. But fuck's sake, a premise like this cannot be wasted with a tiny fucking budget and mediocre fucking writing. So in my eyes, the Wakefield Project was just an absolute waste of an awesome premise. And they tried to go way too hard into the secondary stories. We didn't need that. Just the event in and of itself. So it kind of was like, the premise is kind of like Dawn of the Dead. Group of people together, trapped in a space for a period of time because of the unstoppable onslaught of the undead outside, having to deal with the internal conflicts inside. It's a classic TV trope. People stuck in a small space have to deal with each other until a problem is solved. And it works well. There's a reason it's a classic trope. And that would have played well, especially in this big-ass inn, this old inn that they're working in, and it's under construction. And then, of course, you have the clairvoyant, you have the skeptic, you have the guy who's kind of on the fence, then you have the ghost show up. That's when the fun starts. But because they didn't have the money to explore what they needed to explore, they weren't able to tell the story that should have been told, and then we got this lackluster thing, of which I honestly can say the only entertaining part of the movie was it Anthony? What was his name? Dennis? Yeah, it was Dennis Andre. Dennis Andre, who played Reese, who played the character Reese, who was the buddy in the kind of like Sean and Ed kind of style. He was the comedic guy. Other than the fact that I don't know if y'all caught it. I sent you pictures because I couldn't help it. Why would you have one of your main characters wear his hat and he tucks his ears into his fucking hat? Because it happened. I saw it one time and I was like, what the fuck? And then I had to go back. They do that all the time throughout. He tucks his ears into his hat. I was
like he's never worn a hat before.
Maybe
it was like,
maybe he's got some really fucking big ears.
I'm looking at his picture. He doesn't.
Maybe he's really fucking stupid.
That's the wardrobes department. That's wardrobe that did that. But nonetheless, yeah. and Sarcasm brings up the last 40 minutes were a black screen with bad voice acting and worse sound effects. There was an extra long, prolonged sequence of events where it was just nothing but loud noise and maybe some music while people are running around, not doing like pretty much and nothing is happening. That was an overly long chunk of the film because they didn't have anything else to put in there. That was to extend the runtime into that feature length territory. And there was a unacceptable shit that was done in this. And, that's the problem. It's like a complete and total fucking waste of a premise, which really pissed me off because I like the idea. And yeah, we could do a live rewrite of this fucker and we can make it awesome. Because I could take Wakefield Project. I could make that thing fucking amazing as long as you got the budget to do it. This thing was shot for probably less than $1 million. Probably a few $100,000.
You say that, like, I could tell you right now, there are two guys on this podcast right now that could take $250,000 and turn out a fucking amazing film.
Well, I mean, it's possible, but I think where the breakdown is going to be, I think, Eugene, you might agree with me, that the breakdown is going to be in either the practical or the CGI effects. So when you're talking about the solar flare effect, okay, and this is where I'll actually agree with what Johnny said one time to me when we were talking, is that if solar flares are going to play a major part of your story, you need to see them. They need to be there. We need to see atmospheric effects so that we see what's going on. In the movie It's a Wonderful Night, the Aurora was a major plot. It was literally the plot jeep was the Auroras. If we don't see the Auroras, then we're just like, what the fuck is the point? So at least something.
I will go and I'll reference two movies here. The first one, in terms of, like, say, some kind of solar event or something like that did it a lot better, was something like Night of the Comet, where like something where everybody disappears and few people that are left turn into zombies. And they were, first of all, you did see, like, hey, there's a comet that went by and affected people, and it did it well. Another movie that I reference is, if you take a massive event, but you don't have the budget to showcase a massive event, then you have to keep it simple with a small group of people. So you take The Purge, which we talked about Ethan Hawke already. You take The Purge. The first movie was a huge national event,
right?
But it focused on just one family.
Yep.
This is just the one family,
which is perfect because all you needed was the setup of that. This is happening across the nation. That's all you needed was that setup.
So you have
the gravity of this event.
You have the separation. You have the family and you have the peace in the one house surrounded by the chaos outside, and that's what it is. Problem outside, people in small space. Keep until the problem is solved, which is essentially what that is. Is that that's why that trope works so well. Would have worked well here.
Hands down, that work. And the thing is that event alone could already be interesting enough where it's just, okay, now something happens, dead have come back, you need to protect your family. You don't need the background of, oh, this murderer comes back, and now we got to go and fight the butcher, and we got to learn about his past, and we got to do, instead of like, in The Purge, this is what's going on, this is the way the world is, now the characters got to adapt.
Right.
Simple.
Yeah. And the way that The Purge does that particular that plot device, you know what I mean? That these guys, this is just a part of their lives. They're already used to it. This is how they're, you know what I mean? A very intelligent way of taking that big nasty event happening out here, but we're focused on this right here, this small portion of that big nasty event.
Except it never focuses on the awkwardness of the day after. So like,
like
if the dude got away from, if your prey, if your quarry got away from you, and then all of a sudden we got to go back to work the next day, is like, oh hey Jim,
hey, if
man.
you know who's gonna be on fucking right. Jim better watch the fuck out, okay?
What are we gonna do? Is be like, oh buddy, that was so close. Better luck next year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see The Purge, the after party. Honestly, that would be a good idea. Purge people. What happens when we purge outside of the purge?
Lieutenant Jedi to show stock footage. So there's a number. You don't even have to show stock footage of solar flares. You could. There was another movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a similar thing where there was an atmospheric event, but they never show it because they get a warning over the radio to not go outside. So because there's some sort of phenomena going on, and what they did was that it was essentially the cheapest you could do is that they used lighting effects outside the windows to affect something going on in the atmosphere. And so that would be like, there's there's weird light coming through the windows. Don't go outside. It's if you're low on budget, there's a number of ways you can pull that off. And you could even ramshackle something together to show on like a video. You could clip something together in like Premiere and then like play that over a TV. So that, or you could have that. Like there's a number of ways you can insert that to make that work. And when you're working with a low budget. And sure, I have no doubt that Eugene, you, Johnny, probably myself could probably punch something out for the same amount of money and make it look all the better because it comes down to the writing.
Well, so this is the point. I'm sorry, but this is the point that I was trying to make about that. It's not about the money that you have in your pocket. It's about how you use whatever that checkbook or whatever
how you spend it. Yeah.
How you spend it and knowing what's important, like identifying what's the most important part about what you're doing here. You know what I mean? What are the elements? What has to be right? And how do we adapt everything else to fit what has to be right? So when people get, like for instance, we've written scripts. All of us have written scripts that were multi-million-dollar ideas. And we're like, I can't.
Wakefield only made $10,145 in the theater. That's probably why I caught it. I think it's on Tubi. And it's free. It's free. They get picked up for the number of views that they get. And I can't imagine how many movies have actually cut a little bit of money because we took the time to watch them. So you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're fucking welcome.
Collectively putting nickels in your pocket. Yeah, buddy.
But nonetheless,
it's make sure you use what you've got in the correct way and be intelligent about what you're doing. And take those big projects that need more money, put them aside and work on something you can shoot for $5 or $10 or whatever. You know what I mean? A limited amount of budget so you can work your way up to that big idea.
Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, because one of the things that's lacking here is one big thing with cinematography, that the lighting's not great in this film. at all.
Oh
There's
god,
a
it was
lot of
fucking
parts,
awesome.
the
Third
parts
act
you couldn't
was
see,
terrible.
parts that were just bland, super bland lighting wise.
There was even do you remember there was even an outside shot when they were fucking driving up to the guy's house in order to get the VCR?
Oh yeah,
and like the way when they were sitting in the truck is like, you know, at one point he's like getting out of the truck and he's like the driver's completely washed out, and yet the other guy is lit perfectly, and I'm kind of like, really? You couldn't like have just like
couldn't balance
to keep it balanced within the same shot? It's like, what the shit, man? It's like,
no, they sat there and they just ran with it.
Right.
And it was just, like I said, a lot of it was so basic where like a lot of the exteriors, they didn't use any modifiers or lighting at all. You could just tell. And then on top of that's a style. If you want to do a supernatural horror film, supernatural horror films have a look to them. When you look at movies like The Others, you look at The Ring, you look at the Supernatural, they have this sort of stylistic look to them. Usually it's real high contrast. They kind of make a lot of blues.
The fucking the Pulse with Kristen Bell.
Pulse, exactly.
Had that same effect throughout the entire picture.
Yeah. To it. Whereas this is really shot more like, it looks more like a low budget slasher film. So what happens is it doesn't match up because you're getting low budget slasher film in a supernatural premise, and it just didn't work. It wasn't, the style just didn't come through. It was more like they were just capturing shots for the sake of capturing shots.
If they had done, it would have been really, really easy to, I think a really easy change would be is like all of the exterior shots light with that same kind of with a similar palette with the different shades within a palette. And then we'll take it with one hue, and then your palette be the shades within that hue. And then you use that for all your exterior shots in order to convey the uncertainty of the exterior. And then whenever they're inside the inn, have that lit in a much more warm, in a much warmer area, but have it a little bit darker because of the shadows, and you allow the like natural firelight or candlelight or whatever to play because the power goes out at one point. So allow that lighting to warm that way you have two. You have like the island that you're somewhat safe on, but the shadow's there because the light is temporary. So you create two environments for your characters to play in: the uncertainty of the outside world and the assumed safety of the inside the inn. That would have allowed for two different types of characterization to come out to draw these things out, because the environment they play in is as important as the dialogue in and of itself, because if you feel safe, you're going to deliver your dialogue differently. If you're running around outside and you're feeling unsafe, that's going to play into it as well. We're going to have that trepidation. We're going to have that energy, that underlying kind of like near panic underneath what you say, where you're trying to figure shit out. That would have been a simple change. Light here conveys two different emotions and conveys two different environments, and that tells your actors how they're going to behave in each one. Simple choices like that, basic film school shit that obviously didn't come across or were forgotten.
Speaking of basic film school shit, I think the one thing that they've forgotten, which would have helped their overall look, was white balancing the camera. Making sure that you're shooting at a Kelvin range that matches or at least utilizes whatever light you have. So it's important. And knowing some basic shit. Now, here's the thing: I am not a great cinematographer at the very least, but I do know that as somebody who works in the lighting department, I know what to look for. And Eugene and I will often go back and forth. Eugene, let's go to 4400 Kelvin while I try this this 5600 light, because I want to remove a little bit of the blue, add a little more warmth in that. So I guess it's things like that, knowing that shit, right? Going outside and saying, hey, there's a lot of daylight out here, so let's make sure that if we want a daylight natural look, we balance our camera closer to the 5600 Kelvin side. If we want it more blue, we need to go a little higher. If we want it warmer, we need to go lower. I think that's right.
And remember, if you see zebras, run. You never want to see zebras. Okay? Eugene knows what the fuck I'm talking about. When you see zebra, when you're looking, go ahead.
Blown out footage.
No, you cannot fix blown out footage. If you're looking through the fucking fire and you see fucking zebras, run, shift, do something different, because it's gonna look like trash.
And on top of just knowing your camera and knowing, like, talking about like the white balancing, knowing the dynamic range of your camera, so you can know how much room do you have to play with your shadows.
Right.
Is a really, really big thing. I don't know if they shot on film. I don't know if they shot on digital. I just don't know. I'm not going to do the research for it. They just shot on something. On the digital aspect, knowing your color temperatures, and then if you shoot on film, that comes through your film stock. So you would buy 5,600 film stock or 4,000 film stock, but you would know ahead of time, okay, we're shooting daylight here. We need 5,600 film stock. So that way it comes across the way that we want it to. And they didn't do the research on that.
Right. Extra J says, I end up buying some of the movies you show when I catch them, which reminds me, I need to go buy Onyx the Fortuitous. Awesome. Fantastic. And I'm a big supporter of Andrew Bowser. By the way, I just recently, his movie, what the fuck was the name of it? Jimmy something versus the Goat Man of Bowie. That's on Tubi right now. And I highly recommend you check it out, because that's a movie Andrew Bowser's in, so definitely give that one a look. Jimmy Bonnet or Jimmy, I can't remember the name of it, but that one it was actually quite humorous. And Casey Cooper says, "What about giraffes?" Giraffes, yes, but zebras are what we're talking about when you have overexposure, and overexposure when looking at it will come across as black and white lines in areas that are overexposed when you're looking at it through the finder. And you'll see these lines, and then you need to adjust your light in that area to bring that down. Otherwise, it can be completely blown out when you actually record, which is really important. That was shit. I will learn that first year. First year was like how to
learn your tools. You use your viewfinder for framing, and you use your tools to do a lot of your exposures. That's why you have your zebra stripes, you have your histograms, you have your false colors, you have so forth.
Scopes. Yeah, know what your scopes are for. I mean,
Sarcasm says, "Thank you for appropriately trashing this film." Bows. Absolutely. There's nothing that gets me more than a film that pisses me off. And while this one did not make me as angry as some other ones I've watched, like, it didn't anger me like The Butcher angered Eugene or even myself or some other movies, but I fucking hate it when a good, solid premise, even if it's not an original premise. I mean, come on, like, what legitimately is original these days? But I hate it when a premise goes to waste. When you have even if you have a really solid premise and you can't do it, or that you really can't achieve what you want to, then put it aside.
Choose something
different. Choose something different. Wait until, if you have a solid premise, wait until you can do it so that you can do it right. Don't just like jump on it because I understand the fear that you may come up with an idea and then someone else may jump on you in that crawl, but it happens sometimes. But you take your time with it. I mean, someone else may get there, but you could still do the same movie. If I get the opportunity to make my alligator movie, you can damn be certain I'm going to do it. I don't care if Crawl came out or there's another fucking alligator movie coming out this year. I don't give a shit. I'll still make mine because mine could be fucking better. So they should have held off on this one and used that money towards something else that was a little bit simpler. There was another film that I came across that I'm so glad I watched called I Trapped the Devil. That was on that I caught while I was in the gym the other day, and I loved. I Trapped the Devil was really fucking good because it's about a guy on Christmas Eve who his estranged family comes to visit him out of the blue, and he wants them to leave because he believes he's trapped the devil in his basement, like he's the devil trapped. He's like, you need to go, but they decide not to go, but the thing was, it's a single location. It's one house, attic, upstairs, downstairs, and basement. So you have one location and then 3 characters. And the movie and you never actually see the bad guy. Or do you? Not sure. Because it's fucking there's a psychological bent to the whole thing. Right. Like, is it supernatural? Is it, or is he just losing his mind? Because that's how you do something, a great premise like that. That's how you maximize the amount. And of course, every single layer of the house had different lighting to convey the basement, the common area, the upstairs sleeping area, and the attic where all the conspiracy shit was going on. So it's important to remember these little things.
You have to utilize your resources, and you have to know your budget. One of my favorite stories is Peter Jackson saw the 1970s version of King Kong and hated it, and he devoted his life to remaking King Kong. So he made all these other movies. He did the Lord of the Rings trilogy just so he can get to the point where he could remake King Kong.
And now that was his end goal. And he said, "That's a wrap. I am spent."
Done. That's
done.
all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Sarcasm says, Low was original. Love that one. And Low was good, wasn't it? I remember Low was good and dirt cheap. Literally character in a black box, which is what that movie was for most of that film. Most of the film was character in black box. Very, very simple. So, and wrote it in the name says, "Nope, Quantum Ghost.
Quantum Ghost.
Quantum Ghost." So the question that I want to ask the audience now, the one saving grace I will give it wasn't even that much of a saving grace, was of course the performance of Dennis Andre. I thought he brought some some entertaining moments to that, and he was the better half. He's the one that brought the chemistry between him and his co-star. And so I will have to say, it got me thinking about buddies, about buddy teams in horror films. And I wanted to ask the audience because
Tucker
this movie,
Tucker and Dale.
Oh, I was going to say, what do y'all think is the best horror buddy team? Horror film, the buddy team in a horror film. There are so many where it's two buddies and they're taking on like the bad guys or like this. The best horror film buddy team. Let me know down in the comments below or weekinhorror@gmail.com or here in the live chat. And that's what I want to hear about. So, because I was thinking about that we had a buddy team, but it wasn't what it could have been. And now I'm sitting here thinking about all the cool buddy teams in horror films.
See, my mind instantly went to like Shaun of the Dead buddy team.
There you go. No. Shaun and Ed.
And Ed. Whereas, Shaun and Ed are good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. Like Shaun of the Dead is great. And the other films they do, World's End and
Hot
Fuzz. They're fun. They're super fun, right? But I'm sorry, but Tucker and Dale. There's just something about those two characters, man.
Y'all going camping? Okay,
I don't know what happened to all these college kids just came out here and start killing themselves.
Sheriff, we have had us a doozy of a day. Fucking Alan Tudyk and Tyler the Beat fucking killed that film.
Yeah.
So they were so brilliant. You want a killer hillbilly? I'll give you a killer hillbilly. All right, so we've got the Left-Handed Jedi says Abbott and Costello.
That's good. Yeah.
Awesome. Abbott and Costello. Sally Skellington said Shaun of the Dead. Shaun and Ed from Shaun of the Dead. Tony Regime says the Frog Brothers from Lost Boys. There you go. That's interesting.
Okay.
Rodent Last Name brings Split Second. Rutger Hauer and if I can remember the names of the characters. But the God, it's 1992. Fucking A. But yes, Alistair Duncan and Rutger Hauer as Harley Stone and Dick Durkin. Stone and Durkin. That was their names.
I know. I think it's hilarious. They didn't know what they were doing.
Harley Stone and Dick Durkin. They were awesome in Split Second. Rodin saves us Tucker and Dale. Fucking A. And Keith Laurel and Hardy. Nice. So many good ones. Definitely let us know down in the comments below.
Peter Cushing and I'm tired. I can't remember his fucking name. Just give me the name. You know what I'm talking about.
Christopher Lee?
Thank you. Fucking hell.
Well, they were really buddies.
I don't give a shit, JL.
Adversarial.
Frenemies.
Buddy team.
They're frenemies.
Buddy team.
Frenemies.
Bruce Campbell and his chin. So true.
And
so
his
true.
boomstick.
All right. So
this is the point of the show where Johnny O must go.
You got to bounce?
I got to bounce. I'm sure Eugene will continue the story about some of the cool things coming out from this.
We don't have that much longer to go. And
I know I do. I've got a couple things I got to take care of before the wife and kids get back, so I don't get yelled at.
You're not supposed to be on the show.
I'm not supposed to be here right now.
All right, then. Well, then we will catch you on the next one, bud.
Yep. We can reconvene this here later if Eugene is up for it. We could talk because there are some things we do need to discuss and get some figures and numbers and information. So,
Javier, that's not nice. Jail in the Gym is a horror movie. Well, it was there in the first few months. It really was.
I was gonna say it's like
it was like
scary.
It was like The Stuff too.
I was gonna say, or for me personally, it was more like The Blob. Okay, The Blob Returns. All right.
I wanted to go The Stuff because it's kind of like just like
yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. Let me know when you guys are done, and then we can talk a couple of things this evening. So Eugene has all the information he needs for Friday. Yay, buddy. Yay.
Cool. Well, I mean, we'll still be open, so if you want to pop back in when it's done, so we'll be done. I'll probably try to wrap it as quick as we can. We spent a lot of time talking about Alien, but I guess we did.
So. Oh yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. Still have 2 movies left. Okay.
Oh, no. Well, cheers, everybody.
All right. So, do you want to introduce the next one, or
yeah, I can do the next one.
Awesome.
All right. So next we have The Plague of the Zombies, which was released January 12th, 1966. Roll it.
I cannot tell you how much I fucking love this movie. I really did.
He's mine. Run.
Leave.
Hello, Amanda. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
Now, you might be surprised, but I've always been partial to Chinese. Only problem is, hour later, I'm still hungry.
This coach is bound for a terrifying destination. Dead. But no corpse can remain at peace in this village of the undead, this land of the zombies. In this place, no one is safe. No one can hide from witchcraft, superstition, and fear. Even Sir James Forbes, the clear-headed man of science, was forced to accept the horrifying facts.
Young Martinus also says that he saw something on the moors, something that he insists was his brother. But we know that his brother is dead. We also know that he is not lying in his coffin. Someone in this village is practicing witchcraft. That corpse wandering on the moors is an undead, a zombie.
A place dominated by men without morals, whose bloodlusts are excited by hunting a human quarry. When Sylvia Forbes hated the young squire, it was dangerous. But when she fell in love with him, it was lethal.
That is Plague of the Zombies, directed by John Gilling, starring Andre Morel, Diane Clare, Brooke Williams, Jacqueline Pierce, John Carson, and Alexander Devon. And basically, what you end up having is you have a medical professor and a daughter basically fight against a squire who has some voodoo tricks up his sleeve.
Yes, he does. Okay, so I preface this thing going into it. So I fucking love this movie. So this is one of the Hammer horror gems that I hadn't had an opportunity to watch yet. Love the fact that we got to see it this time, and man, I fucking thoroughly loved this movie, especially and in the casting of the legendary Andre Morel, because Andre Morel was a legendary stage and screen actor, British actor, and was well known for playing Professor Quatermass in a BBC serial. The guy has got. I likened his character in this, the way it was written, to a combination of. He's basically a combination of, I would say, House, who is essentially kind of like, fucking Sherlock Holmes with a medical degree, and Van Helsing is kind of what he is. He's kind of like all like the great mind adventurer style, English explorer, whatever, but also like a man of medicine and science. I love all rolled into one because of all the people you wouldn't expect to fall to the to go to the supernatural. He does when everything else has been eliminated, the only thing left is the explanation, and that's the supernatural. So someone's got to be practicing witchcraft. So let's go handle that shit. But
Let's take care of it.
But then great moments kind of like it's like, well, they won't let me do an autopsy because obviously there's a conspiracy. They don't want an autopsy done because the people it'll expose the secret. So it's like they won't let me do one. It's like, okay, well then I guess we're gonna have to do one ourselves. But they're not going to allow it. No, there's plenty of light out tonight. It's like so grave robbing. It's like we're gonna go dig the. He's like, yeah, shit, yeah, fuck yeah. This is the only way we're gonna find out. I loved this fucking character. And then, of course, when the dead rise and the guy's wife, the guy's girl, crawls up out of her grave, it's like, he's the only one who doesn't panic, picks up a fucking shovel. Funk! A man of science, a man of brilliance, a man of action. And this is what got me. And I love this for Hammer horror, is that it conveys social things that are so anathema to what we know today. Like people in science being willing to have open minds when it comes to other alternative explanations. Mm-hmm. People who don't fall apart with stress. They're like, oh no, I'm useless. No, I'm needed right now. I have to put my personal shit aside and get the job done. Police officers that are like super, super helpful. Is like once they realize like, hey, you're breaking the law. Oh wait, goodness, there's something going on here. Okay, we'll. I realize that there's that air of aristocracy that people of an elevated class had more authority when it came to like giving orders to people, and that was kind of in British society at the time. It was like with age comes wisdom, and so we listened to our elders and shit. It was so interesting to see that this play out like this, and I just loved all the elements. They came together beautifully. Not to mention the practical effects were good. And did you notice some similar? I think that Plague of the Zombies kind of influenced. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I never read anything about it. I think it influenced Romero a bit in the depiction of his ghouls in Night of the Living Dead, which came out a couple years after this one did. Because I saw the movement, the framing shots, how they're coming in behind him during the whole dream sequence when he was imagining all the people coming out of their graves, and I saw a lot of parallels there.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to see definitely a lot of influence, and this is kind of going on to that true proto-zombie to how we see zombies today. This will come a little bit more from a voodoo aspect versus like the true disease form of the zombies that are zombies what we have today.
Or space virus and shit like that. Yeah. The Haitian resurrection zombie. Yeah.
But the thing I did like about this is that you deal with smart characters. And as you talked about, Wolf Andre's character is like, hey, we're not going to fall apart under stress. You're having police that's useful because having a character break down and all of a sudden they become useless, a lot of times can be just a lazy out. We have to kill somebody off. We have to make the villain seem stronger than what they actually are. So we'll just have the characters break down and crumble and da 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 da. It is always more difficult as a writer where you write smart characters, because the characters overall do not fall for the stupid. They do not fall for the cliche. They do not do this. So if you want the bad guy to say win a confrontation and kill a character, then the bad guy has to come out on top and oversmart them in a superior way versus just, oh, well, I'm here, I can just dominate. And on the other side is when you have a hero, your hero has to legitimately outsmart a villain. So it takes a whole higher level of writing to get to that. But that's the kind of writing that I appreciate, because it's like I love horror films where I'm watching a character and I'm like, I would do that same thing. Oh, that's exactly what I would do. And then the character gets smoked, and then you're like, oh, okay, you have my attention now. All right, the villain outsmarted me. Okay, now I'm invested in that point versus like, oh, she ran up the stairs again. Oh, the cops are here, and then the cops go, we don't believe you, and then the cops are useless. How many times have we seen that? So I like going back to this. Another thing about Hammer horror is they just have this quality to them. All of them are shot well. Including this one. The lighting here is beautifully. They have such beautiful and ornate set pieces. It's never like, here's just a basic living room. Here we get like, here's this Victorian style smile. Here's these set pieces that have so much detail to them, so that it helps out the cinematography because it has these colors that pop. It has these set pieces that fit with and sell with the story, and it's just something that they've always invested in, and it just adds to that production value.
It was beautifully done, and I really thoroughly love the lighting in this one. The way everything was framed and the way everything was, Hammer's always been solid in knowing what they want to pop in a particular scene, like in any particular frame. They know what they want to pop. They know what they want to draw the audience's imagination to. I love the choices that were made in this, and so many good options. And one thing I will praise him for, which I did not expect, which I loved. And Sarcasm says, I have to say, I feel it copied the 1932 white zombie tropes, but actually did it better all around. I will agree with that. And one thing I thought was really fucking cool is it kept to that typical trope at the time, where in storytelling, especially in horror films, where the bad guy, the ultimate bad guy, usually becomes a victim. And you see this a lot in Hammer horror, where the bad guy, the ultimate bad guy, the end boss, becomes a victim of their own machinations. So similar to the one with The Devil Rides Out, we never actually see Christopher Lee, the good guy, take on that bad guy, because that bad guy falls prey to his own magic, because it backfires on him and it kills him, takes his life. So we never get a big showdown. With this one, we never actually get a giant showdown between our heroes and the main bad guy. The bad guy falls prey to his own zombies, and the fact the whole place goes up in flames. So like his own, like, I love that trope, but I thought this was really fucking cool. So because it's voodoo, and they were playing on the old tropes, so they kind of like the old superstitious notion of these things, how these voodoo dolls were being resurrected as the people who had died, and so the dolls themselves are connected to the zombies that he's got working as like slave labor in order to build his army so that he could like do whatever, take over the world with some shit. And I fucking love that moment when our intrepid hero, when the doctor himself, when Andre Morel is fighting for, I think it's Forbes, James Warren Forbes is fighting the head of the minions, like the head of his little like henchman, and he winds up killing him, and they set the room on fire. Okay, so and he's like, crap, and he's trapped, and he's stuck there, and then the dolls get set on fire. They had this moment where the zombies are all down below in the mill doing all the slave labor and everything, and then their costumes start smoking.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it was so subtle, and I was like, oh holy shit! And then all of a sudden the zombies are like, huh? And like they start. That was fucking brilliantly done. So well. And it's such a simple thing. You know, you'd think it's like, obviously they would do that, but the way they pulled it off was just so, and that one caught my, it was like, it was brilliant little attention to details like that I think put Hammer where it is and why it is so why it was so revolutionary at the time and why it's so inspirational today, is because they thought, essentially, very, very smart filmmakers thinking of everything they needed to cover. They didn't leave things to chance. They covered all their bases. They planned extremely well and very meticulously. And that's why we get these phenomenal moments that don't seem like they were shot at the last second or like shoved in because we had nothing better or whatever. So like spare no expense. Everything was covered the way it should be covered and well planned out, which is, I think, if you haven't seen Plague of the Zombies, if you didn't get an opportunity to see it before we talked about it, this movie is fucking great. Classic Hammer. Obviously, it's not Christopher Lee. It's not, Peter Cushing, any of the big legendary ones. But this one just goes to show how fucking amazing Hammer horror was. These cats had their shit on lock and how to shoot a movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed this one.
I really did. And to go on to Raven Darkstar's point, so in terms of zombie films, where do zombies come from is very, very specific. When you have somebody who's using voodoo magic and it becomes more kind of like a revenge piece, or it's something that has like a specific goal, that is different than when you actually would contribute a zombie. Because zombies just come. It's just a disease that comes out and is taking over the world. That's why Night of the Living Dead will always be the first true zombie film. I will definitely consider this a proto-zombie, just like Carnival of Souls is a proto-zombie film. They kind of act like zombies, but there's still kind of souls in here and there with it. But in Night of the Living Dead, they're just there. And it never goes into where they come from. And you will see that's a major trope as it continues on all the Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead, all this other kind of stuff, where it's just this uncontrollable event that happens that takes over versus something where like someone created them, specifically one person created them to do their one bidding. That's a different type.
Essentially, that's what the Squire is doing in this. What he's basically the Bokor, and he is taking people in the local village, because it's a very tiny village that he can control because he's the controlling entity there. He can control the police. He pretty much acts as the judge and the constable. He's got everything on lock, and he's using the town in order to slowly kill people and basically take people's blood, bind them to them through ritual black magic, and then when they die, and because they slowly they slowly fade away, and when they wind up getting killed, he can then resurrect them back up into his service as a slave, is what he's doing. So that's what the idea of the original voodoo zombie was basically taking someone's soul and then binding it to you so that they have to do your bidding, which is what essentially the zombies are doing in this. They're not walking around going, oh, brains. They're not doing that, not like Romero's ghouls, which is what they were doing. They have the things that ate human flesh or ate human brains and shit. But yeah, it was they're magic. They're magic slave zombies, but magic zombies. Then you've got your viral zombies, your chemical zombies, your space bug zombies, space spore zombies, or whatever. But there's so many different ways you can play it. But I like this. There was enough realistic stuff, and I love how Hammer does it. They blend what we know or what we knew at the time, scientifically speaking, with the fantastical event, and they allow those two fields to play into one another, and they always do it so seamlessly. They bring the scientific and the empirical and play in the realm of the supernatural, and allow these two things. They show that these two fields are not mutually exclusive, that you can blend them together, and all you need is an open mind to allow to do it, which I think is just fun. I think that's why they're so much fun. These movies are so much fucking fun. That's why I love Hammer horror so much.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
plus the main guy is just your quintessential British hero. I fucking loved him in that. It's just like that excellent, just like everything about it was phenomenal. It's like I am what needs to be at the time that needs to be it. And so whatever you need to do, I will do it. So
I want to ask the audience, who is your favorite classic British hero? Who is your favorite classic British hero?
So many good ones. Classic British hero, man. And I'm going to go with the heroes themselves. You know, I would say now we know where Jail gets his idea for Ghost Powder. But aha, very funny, very cute. Doctor Who designs his Doctor Who. Awesome. Yeah, very cool. Boudica. Boudica. I like Quatermass very much. I also am a big fan of obviously Sherlock Holmes. God, there's a bunch there. So many. Vince Sarkis says Vincent Price. End of discussion. The Scarlet Pimpernel. Very nice. So many good ones. Definitely let us know down in the comments below or weekinhorror@gmail.com. Love to hear what everybody's takes on that one, because I think in this movie, in The Plague of the Zombies, I think that quintessential like British hero, the stiff upper lip, doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done. I love that moment when they're opening the grave and they haven't opened up the coffin yet, and then the bobbies come upon them, and they're all like, "What are you doing, lads?" Oh, goodness. Well, as you can see, we're digging up this body. It's like, that's against the law, right? Yes, we know it's against the law. He's like, well, how about you come on out of there? It was like, well, since we're already busted, there's no harm in looking. And then he rips open the game. It's like,
we made it this far.
I love that dude. He's just kind of like, well, since we're already busted. Ha-ha! Oh, the plot thickens. And I fucking love moments like that. It's great.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Hey, wait, I'm surprised no one mentioned Christopher Lee.
Oh, Christopher Lee. He was.
Just as a person.
He was the quintessential British hero. Or James Bond. Somebody did James Bond.
Yeah.
So. All right. So, got one more film we're going to talk about, and this one is fucking amazing. Eugene, I hope you got a chance to watch this one. Because
I got a chance to speed through it. So I do have a couple things to say about it.
This is a fucking gem of a goddamn film. So this last one we're going to talk about, I know we've run a little bit over, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. Released January 13th, 1989. Perfect fucking time for a movie. We have the slasher film Intruder. Yes, Joshua Lee, Sir Christopher Lee. My bad. We have the film Intruder. Let's check out this trailer.
George?
Now, where were we, Tanya?
Anytime someone fights a cat, I'm gonna laugh.
It's closing time.
Closing time.
But the night crew still has work to do.
Oh my god, we're gonna get in so much trouble.
Because there's one last customer who isn't satisfied.
No! This creep keeps calling her. He's driving us nuts.
Leave me alone.
He wants to slash their prices.
Who's there?
He wants to cut their inventory.
You're crazy!
In fact, he wants to chop until they all drop.
I saw him kill Linda.
And now he's turning their retail store
There's gonna be one more killing here tonight.
into a wholesale slaughterhouse.
I fucking love that sequence.
I'm just crazy about this store.
Intruder.
Fuck yes. That was the trailer for Intruder. So, Intruder. 1 second. Directed by the legendary Scott Spiegel, and written by Scott Spiegel and Lawrence Bender. And starring Dan Hicks, David Burns, Elizabeth Cox, and Renee Estevez. Yes, of the Estevez family. As well as appearances by Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and fucking Bruce Campbell himself. this movie is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So the film follows the night crew as they are going, basically a night crew in a supermarket, and slowly but surely, an unidentified killer, or sadly, an identified killer, is picking them off one at a time until eventually, it gets down to the final girl. This is a by the numbers, basic straight up slasher. I'm a slasher of prices. Timothy Dalton, yes, Timothy Dalton in Hot Fuzz. I'm a slasher, and you must lock me up. I'm a slasher of prices. But this movie was fucking fantastic. You've got brilliant kills. You've got a fantastic story, a great villain, some excellent practical effects. Terrific. And that's because you think of the thing that got me about this was the pedigree that was behind this. You've got Scott Spiegel. Scott Spiegel is attached, is one of the names that came out of the fucking son of a bitch. I lost the goddamn name of it again. The Wiley E. Groves High School group, which was Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and that whole group. So yeah. Scott Spiegel came out of that group. Like Wiley E. Groves High School has put so many names in horror. So he's from that group. Then you've also got he also wrote the thing along with Lawrence Bender, but then you've also got Sam Raimi and his brother Ted behind this as well, not to mention Bruce Campbell as well, doing some voice work and in a cameo at the very end of the movie. And then you got practical effects by none other than fucking Greg Nicotero and Alan Kirkman. So Nicotero and Kirkman practical effects, which is why they look so good. Excellent acting and executive production from the Raimi crew, and then Scott Spiegel there as well. It's and not to mention Dan Hicks. Dan Hicks as the killer, as Killer Bill, he was fucking amazing. So, and it was a shame he passed away in 2020, which is a fucking bummer. But he was in Evil Dead 2. He was in Darkman. A big supporter of Raimi's films. But yeah, everything in this thing fires on all cylinders. I fucking loved it. Not to mention some great cinematography, some great moments.
I will admit the lighting in this movie is very well done. It's a slasher film. It's a low budget slasher film that doesn't really feel like a lower budget slasher film, which is always the goal. It's shot well, and it looks like that the film had everything it needed budget wise to work. And this is the thing. It is a paint by the numbers slasher film, but it hits on everything that you're supposed to hit. Here's an interesting premise. Oh, they're closing down the store. Oh, there's a killer locked in. The killer comes up with creative kills with a hydraulic press and
that was and the fucking the
saw.
The saw is wow, that was the fucking gnarly. That was brutal as shit.
it hits on everything that it needs to hit. Now, it may have came out just a little too late to really make it in that staple of icons, because you had slashers were already in full steam in the early 80s, and this comes out in 89. So the full steam of slashers have already been out for several years. So I can understand how something like this kind of gets lost when people are kind of like, okay, now we're kind of looking for something new at this point. But it's something that is just fun. I think it's something you can pop in if you want a slasher that's just kind of like, here's something that most people have never heard of. You're going to have some creative kills. You're going to have some great practical effects. I think the acting was serviceable, where it's just kind of like, okay, it got the point. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it got the job done. But also, once again, in slashers, I'm not looking for Academy Award winning performances. You're just not really going to find them there.
Elizabeth Cox, she got across her final girl. I thought she did great as a final girl. There were some good solid moments in there. Predominantly, this one falls down to the practical effects, the fun kills, and what's going on. The one thing that and one thing I will say about the one thing that was really, really cool with the way how they shot this bad boy was that there was a supermarket that was actually closing down and completely empty, and so they rented that thing out super cheap for everybody, and then the crew came in and they just, I think it was said the crew had a company that specialized in damaged goods deliver defective merchandise, and that's what they stocked the entire store with was just so everything was just crap and just done with anyway, and that's how you do that on the cheap. is you find an empty place, you rent it out for cheap, and then you go in and you stock it with like broken stuff that's never going to get used, and you toss away. The production value was fantastic. I loved everything they brought to it.
That's what you talk about, utilizing your resources.
Right.
Like, that's exactly like, instead of, hey, we're going to run out of the grocery store for, I don't know, a month to shoot in. Here's one that's closing down. They're not expecting to make any more money off of it anyway. So anything kind of helps out whoever owns the property. We're going to get some defective stuff that we can just stock so we can destroy it, break it, throw blood all over it, do whatever we want with it. That right there is textbook of utilizing your resources and making your budget go where it needs to go, because I guarantee you the money they saved there went towards practical effects, went towards cinematography, getting some people that know exactly what they're doing. So that's how it works all the way around.
And I love, and one thing I dug is how each kill is done as each person slowly gets, taken out, however, and that those initial parts, because Ted Raimi is, and that's the one thing, the film was marketed as big because it had, it's like Bruce Campbell is in it, Ted Raimi's in it, Sam Raimi's in it, when really at best they were supporting characters. You had Sam and Ted, who were the basically the stock boys, and you had Bruce Campbell, who does a cameo at the very, very end. So I mean, really the movie hinges on Elizabeth Cox's performance and and Dan Hicks's performance, who were fantastic. Renee Estevez is barely in. She sets up at the beginning, but really it's about those two. And I love those. The thing that laugh out loud moments, which slashers are always great for, was when that very first kill, when the killer, Renee Estevez's character, when Linda meets the killer outside, it's like, ha, and then like that, and then Ted Raimi slices the watermelon in half, like split like a watermelon. Love that. And then that one moment when he gets into a fight with the ex-boyfriend out there in front, and the boyfriend picks up his hammer and knocks him out, and he's like, ah. And he falls down and then drops a sack of potatoes out like a sack of potatoes. little fun moments like that to give a visualization to the audience as to the kind of like, I guess, the onomatopoeia in that respect is, or to give a visual onomatopoeia to the audience. It's like out like a sack of potatoes or split like a watermelon. It's like, I love little moments like that. And the everything, the body find segment. I thought, honestly, the fucking the meat hook scene with Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's like up and then hot. That was some of the best shit I've seen. And one thing I'll notice, that another way you mentioned about saving money, is that I noticed that they reused a lot of sequences, or they would shoot a sequence long and then they would like cut and use them for later on, because the sequence when he gets first like hooked on the meat hook and there's blood coming out of his mouth, it's all fresh, it's all running down like that. They actually shot that. You could tell they shot that sequence pretty long. They used the first section for the kill, and then later on during the body discovery sequence, they used those shots again. So they shot that all in one take, as you could tell, because the angles and how it's the same. The freshness of the makeup, it was the same. But brilliant little stuff like that, because it works. It fits, because all you have to do is be like, okay, we're going to shoot this one way, we're going to shoot this scene, and we're going to shoot it in two angles. And the first angle we're going to use for the kill, but then we're going to extend it, we're going to use another angle, and we're going to shoot. We're going to use those for later on during the body discovery, so we can cover it all up. One of the brilliant ways that they are able to save money, and not shooting chronologically, but a lot of fun. This one is classic shit, and I thought that Dan Hicks gave his fucking all in this movie. He was great as the bad guy, great as the villain, even though unfortunately it was kind of spoiled because it's him revealed on all the marketing. If you see the poster for Intruder, it's him. Like, haha, it's Bill. It's Bill.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is that the killer? And then in the trailer, it's Bill. I'm just crazy about this store. Ugh. Obviously, it's him. So they kind of spoil who the killer is. Fortunately for me, I hadn't seen Intruder yet. So I didn't see the marketing
here. Yeah.
And so I didn't know. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's Bill. Okay, that's cool. But then I said, oh, if I'd recognized it on the posters, yeah, Bill's all over it. Holy shit, they really tell everyone it's Bill. So, but nonetheless, it's a fun, awesome early entry from the Raimi crew, from Scott Spiegel, who's fantastic, and one of his early films. It's based on an 8mm film called Night Crew. That he had done, a little short that he had done, that he finally got adapted into a feature film. So in that one, the killer was the killer was more of a Halloween themed killer instead of this one, but he was able to expand it out and do it in this one with help of the Raimi boys.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, very, very cool shit. So if you get the opportunity to definitely check out Intruder, I believe it's on Tubi right now, but definitely check that shit out, because this thing is an absolute fucking blast. Really, really good stuff. Plenty of awesome brew. What kill got you the most in this one?
I would probably have to say the hydraulic press.
The hydraulic press?
And because also on top of that, the hydraulic press is not like it's like the whole head. It's just like the top half of the head. And it's just like it's a slow, like also like a pressure, and then it keeps cutting back to it. It's like a starting crush, like, oh, okay, that's it. Oh no, we're still seeing it. Oh no, now the body fell, blood shooting everywhere. So definitely that one.
The saw one, the table saw one was like through the top of his head, like across his, like, that one got me. That was fucking gnarly. I was like, oh fuck, that would I mean the press is one thing, but because it speaking in terms of anatomy, the hydraulic press thing actually would be over quite quick. Because you wouldn't live that long throughout that sequence, because the press would hit you, and then the pressure it exerts in the back of your skull would actually sever your spinal column from your skull, and you'd be gone. And so it actually wouldn't last that long. It would suck at first, be very scary, but it would kill you rather quick. But that table saw one, that blade is, while sharp, is not strong. Okay, it's meant for cutting chicken pieces, not a human skull. Okay, if you push too hard, you're gonna break that blade, and the thing is not gonna function. You're gonna be stuck with a blade sticking through your freaking head. Not to mention, you got to get pretty far in to get something seriously vital. Back here, which is you got to go through all this first. That would suck balls, man. That was even the blade in the head, whack, you're gone.
Yeah, okay. That's it.
And then that's it. But the receipt sticker in the eye, that would also kind of suck. That would suck pretty.
Because that would take a while. That would, because as it's going through, I mean, it'll pop the eye, and it's still not enough to kill you, and then it has to get into the brain, and it has to go far enough into the brain.
In the right area. Yeah. Because if it goes up like at an angle, you may not.
Because it could go in an angle and not kill you.
Right. So, which it didn't, which we saw it didn't until he does the puppet. But he did the puppet thing, which was fucked up. I was like, help me! Ah! That shit was fucking brilliant. Cindy Sue says, it would suck at first and be rather scary. Understatement of the new year. I'm thinking scary migraine. Raven Darkstar, JL, and the physics of the kill. Absolutely. Because it's you think about like how it would go down. How it would go down is, that table saw one. That's the fucked up. The Left-Handed Jedi says, when the air hits your brain like a shot of cocaine, it's a slasher. With the slow blade through, there goes the piano lessons. I can't remember my dad. The slow blade. Well, there goes the piano lessons. I can't remember my dad. So, but yeah, there was some fucking brutal ones in that one, but I fucking loved it. This is just classic, slasher stuff. And check out Scott Spiegel stuff, because Scott Spiegel's a legendary director. This goes all the way back to like goes all the way back to what was it? We talked about it earlier in the show. Fucking hell. That one that was shot in Akron, Ohio.
Oh,
son of a bitch. We just fucking talked about it. We swear we did. The Dead Next Door goes back to J.K. Bookwalter stuff, because J.K. Bookwalter's part of that. Scott Spiegel was involved in that crew as well. He was also in that movie as one of the zombies. So these guys all work together. There's a brilliant little crew of people that all work together. So you gotta love it, and love what they did in this one. Do you want to do the CTA, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, you were the one that introduced the film.
Oh, did I? Did I do it? Yeah. Oh, fuck, man, shit.
I guess I'm getting tired. The zombies.
Because that's true. I guess I'm getting tired. So the question I want to ask the audience, that's why I set it up for Scott Spiegel, is because Scott Spiegel is a fantastic director. And one second, and I got to make sure I pull up my deal, because I actually closed my fucking notes there. But of Scott Spiegel's filmography, what do y'all out there think is the best Scott Spiegel film? Because he's got a bunch of amazing ones. Whether he was, I would say the ones he's directed, because he did Attack of the Helping Hand, he did The Blind Waiter, he did Intruder, obviously, From Dusk Till Dawn, from Dusk Till Dawn 2, My Name is Modesty. He directed Hostel Part 3, which we talked about earlier in this season. So, but he's also been involved. He's executive produced a ton. He's done a lot of work with Sam Raimi. He did work on Evil Dead 2. He did work on The Dead Next Door. He did Darkman, Quick and the Dead, a number of stuff. So, but let us know down in the comments below at weekinhorror@gmail.com what you think is the best Scott Spiegel film, the best entry in his filmography. Honestly, I think it's Intruder. I think Intruder is his best of all time. I think that is.
In terms of directing wise, I'd have to go the same, just because looking at his other filmography, it's like Dust Till Dawn 2, Hostel Part 3, Hostel Part 3,
Hostel 3.
Yeah, wow, they missed the mark on that one, if there was one. So yeah, I'll just probably have to go Intruder.
Awesome. You know, one of the clips we showed from 2001 Maniacs with Robert Englund, one of the clips we showed on the Terror Tube, Spiegel was an executive producer on that film.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Little details like that. Fucking love it. Operation Free Rule says, I'm glad it's going a bit over today. I was sad when I realized I missed it. We're glad you're here, bud. And I know we've gone over quite a bit, but it happens sometimes. That's what happens when Johnny comes along. When Johnny pops in out of nowhere, that's
all he wants to do.
That's what happens. That's what happens. All right. So, given that, even though we've run over, it is that special time again. Eugene, what time is it?
Is it that time? I mean, we could just close out and just.
But I think they've been waiting with almost half an hour over. I think it's that time. I think we do. I think we owe it to them.
Okay,
they've earned it.
Yeah. So we'll give them the trivia time.
Yes, it is trivia. Oh, I let him play. My bad. But yes, it's trivia time. Tango says, "Don't you dare." So, yes, it is trivia time. Of course, the first person in the live chat to get the correct answer to this trivia question will get a special item from the Week in Horror store, all the cool stuff that we have at Teespring. So, a mystery item. So, it would be a random thing that you get out of there. It could be a t-shirt, could be a sticker, could be something cool, like a hoodie or maybe even a puzzle of our limited edition artwork. So, Eugene, when you're ready, give them, I've got the live chat pulled up. So, give them their trivia question for the week.
So, the question is, what was the first ever Hammer horror film? What was the first ever Hammer horror film? The first one to comment in the live chat wins.
This is actually an interesting one because I actually learned a lot about Hammer horror. How Hammer horror developed and became something. And their back and their filmography and what they were doing and what they considered their horror experiment. That's what they was considered, like the horror. Let's experiment in this genre, and this was their very first film that they put out in that genre. No, wasn't The Curse of wasn't Terrence Fisher's The Curse of Frankenstein. Wasn't Curse of Frankenstein. It wasn't. Nope, not Curse of Frankenstein. See. Remember, it's never going to be that easy. You got to go back into their filmography. You got to. Because their very first foray, which they considered their first experiment into the horror genre. The very first one.
So we got a couple other coming in. The Public Life of Henry IX. Nope.
No, and it wasn't the Mystery of the Mary Celeste either. Wasn't The Curse of Frankenstein, Zatkins. I know you there. I know it. Come on. You got to look into that. Got to look into that filmography. Finally, a tough one. I was tired of them getting answered in like the first 2 seconds. So.
Oh, not the Phantom Ship?
Not Phantom Ship. You're not looking hard enough. Come on. Bingo.
There
Tony
it is.
Regime has got it. Yes. Let me make sure. Let me double check because those came in really fast. So I've got this
Tony
on
Regime also.
All messages. I've got Tony Regime with Quatermass. Yes, you are correct. Tony Regime, congratulations. It was the Quatermass Experiment. That was their very, very first foray into horror films. And it was a sci-fi horror film. So the Quatermass Experiment, 1955, was their very, very first horror film. And then with the success of that one is what essentially launched what we know as Hammer horror today, because those films were so well done and so well acted and well produced that legendary names wanted to be a part of them because it was something new. So congratulations, Tony Regime. You are correct. Let me get your name down. Tony Regime got that with the Quatermass Experiment. Well done. See, Tang Whistle was right behind him. Quatermass Experiment. Yep. Sherry Tilly as well. Quatermass Experiment. Yeah, so I saw a lot. I knew people were going to think it was like The Public Life of Henry IX, or it was going to be Mystery of Mary Celeste, or The Curse of Frankenstein 57. So, but yeah, Tony Regime got it. Google says Curse of Frankenstein. Remember, Google is not always right. That's the key. That's the kicker. When I found that the Quatermass experiment, because I always try to double check. When I first looked it up, it was like, what was the very first horror film that they did? And that came up, and I was like, "Well, hang on a sec. I could have sworn that they were around before. They were doing stuff before 57. Sure as shit, in 1955, they did the Quatermass experiment. So that's the kicker right there. And I love this because Hammer, that film kind of went through a number of iterations before it became Hammer. And what they did was they would buy a house in like rural England, in semi-rural England, and they would shoot everything at that property. So they would buy like a large estate with a lot of land around it, which is why those productions look the way they do, because they had control of the entire property. And so they turned the entire property into a production facility. And then whenever they would go through like 5 or 6 movies, and then they would move to a new location. And so
Smart.
And so they shot it one, and then they shot it first series at one, and they moved and they shot another series at one, and then they moved to the Dover. And the Dover is where they began their horror experiment, where they did the Quatermass experiment, and the Dover became known as the House of Hammer, and therefore Hammer House.
See, nice,
brilliant shit. So yeah, I fucking loved it. Yeah, so congratulations, Tony Regime. We will get that printed out to you ASAP. Well fucking done. Man, oh man, we went a little long. We had about 2.5 hours, but we got through it. And I appreciate everybody being here. And that Horror Fiends is going to conclude this episode of the Week in Horror podcast. All right. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us. I really hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, smash that like and subscribe button. And be sure to hit the bell so you never miss a future episode. We need like 13 or 14 away from 1,000 subs. We're very, very close. Maybe 12. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at it, but we're very, very close. So, help us out. Hit that subscribe button. Join us next week when we look back at the 70s adaptation of Lovecraft's The Dunwich Horror, the ultra creepy Night of the Scarecrow, the 80s monster classic Ghoulies, and the atmospheric supernatural horror Mama. Be sure to check out Josh Olsen's store at badsamurai.store. He does all the awesome artwork you see splattered all over our merchandise, which you can find over at Teespring. For more from Week in Horror, check out all the bloody links that are down in the description. Follow us at the socials for the Daily Splatter, your daily horror recommendation. Join our Discord for watch parties, big announcements. Apparently, I'm about to get some big announcements myself, and all kinds of horror shenanigans. Support the show through channel memberships here for 99 cents a month, $1 a month, Super Chats, PayPal, or even our Patreon for as little as $1. $1 a month, and you can help us make the show. What are you waiting for? Fucking join us. As always, thank each and every single one of you for being the greatest audience a horror film podcast could possibly have. We're going to have an awesome 2024. We will see you all. I am JL.
And I'm Eugene.
We're going to see you all next week. And as always, stay scared.